So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hola, hola, hola.
And this is another episode of BS, Beats, and Bailey.
Yeah.
Right, so a lot of things happened during our slight hiatus, if you will. Not too slight though, but you know, just took time to enjoy my birthday. You know, I'm 1 year older now. Hooray for me! Right. Yeah. But apart from all that, you know, stuff on TV, stuff online, and some music related stuff that I'll get into. And of course, in terms of reviews, we're gonna talk about season 2 of HBO's Insecure. We're going to talk about season 4 of Netflix's excellent adult animated comedy, Bojack Horseman.
Yep.
And we have to talk about that horror film, boy. That horror film that may be the best horror film of the year thus far. Maybe. But we'll get to that just so. Alright, so that's preamble stuff that took place last week. For one thing, well, just sticking to like YouTube for the time being. For one thing, we got to see the first trailer for the official trailer. Sorry, for the Disaster Artist.
Yes.
Looks great. I love it. I love James Franco's Tommy Wiseau accent. I love it.
Yeah, because I've been following TIFF recently, so I saw it got a pretty high score.
Right. I know it got a lot of buzz there, of course.
Yeah, that's probably the big buzz. Even well, some people might say Oscar buzz. I don't really know about that, but you know, we'll find out.
It's possible. Like, imagine if James Franco actually win Best Actor for that, though. That'd be interesting.
Best Actor for the worst actor.
Yeah.
There's some ironic bullshit that James Franco could pull off.
Of course, you know Oscars like to have these stories now, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, who tried so hard in the 2000s, then finally after eating a buffalo liver, and you know, skinning inside of a horse and sleeping inside there and going through all this torture and pain, that's where he earned his first Academy Award. You know what I mean? They like those kind of stories, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe James Franco could win. I just calling it right now, but we'll see in time.
No, as I say, you could get for, you know, his ironic bullshit now, you know, is the best actor for the worst actor.
Yeah, exactly. And of course,
actor acting as the worst actor.
Yeah, of course, Tommy Wiseau will be so overjoyed, baby. Like, yes, now I shall continue to make movie and inspire more people to do what I did.
Right.
We also got a trailer. Well, I don't think a lot of people saw it. The Red Sparrow, which is a thriller starring McGill, Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, it has this, like, even right down to the text and all, it looks like it's based off of some kind of novel. You know, it has that kind of espionage kind of text, you know, what they use in the covers of those books, you know. Yeah, so her character reminds me a lot of like Black Widow, for example, where she was trained from young to be this assassin, and she used her body and all those kind of things.
Speaking of that, I'm noticing, you know, that's the one thing that comic book movies did, because comics had to like just scour everything genre-wise just to make things interesting. You end up having this kind of hodgepodge, you know, of hodgepodge potpourri of genres in the comic book movie. So it's sci-fi, so on so. But people taking the concepts now that we've seen in these comic book movies and then putting them in other movies, like it's splitting off and they're just taking them to some like more interesting logical spaces. So like,
which is cool.
Right, so you have a movie basically based on shrinking now.
What's the name of that show? I haven't heard of it.
Oh gosh, it's slipping my mind right now. But I was like, yeah, it's basically the Ant-Man movie.
Right.
And I was like, no, it does look like if they're gonna waste the premise on this silly movie, in my opinion, because the trailer just looks really uninteresting.
Right.
But I don't know where, you know, but it's just the idea of, well, nobody else did this idea, and now you're seeing it in something that's not a comic book movie.
Yeah, and you're seeing it with another actor or actress playing that character.
Right.
Like, the last thing I imagine is like Jennifer Lawrence playing some sort of assassin who had to use her body to, you know, get with men and kill them and things. That's like the last thing I would see her in. But then again, she's in Mother, so it's like, wow, okay, maybe she just kind of stretching her range on. Maybe she's not going for that Oscar anymore, but she want to do some more, you know, interesting, meaty roles. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And man, is like the last movie to make the whole shrinking person thing really work now. Like, we haven't seen this since Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh god, I knew he was gonna say that.
yeah, it's like it had other movies that did it, but like the Ant-Man really pull off the tech on our necks on a really impressive level now. Shit,
exactly.
It's slipping my mind what the movie is.
Yeah.
I think it's Matt Damon starring in it.
I think I saw the thumbnail for that though.
Yeah.
But I think it's Matt Damon. Like he's the lead now. From what I got.
That is it.
Sorry.
Downsizing. That's the name.
Downsizing. Okay.
Yeah. So the
I
idea
haven't seen
is
trailer for that.
Basically, just well, the idea is just a bunch of people. I think just to solve like all the climate change problems now.
Okay.
Just, well, shrink people.
Yeah.
The answer, so we can spread the resources, whatever.
Okay.
Even though that don't make any sense.
I know, but hopefully they will explain themselves. Hopefully.
Let's take it looking like something that'll completely waste the premise because they're still drinking water and these kind of things normal. It's like, yeah, but you gotta shrink the water too. Like water is totally different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you think about it, the logic. Yeah. Another trailer that we saw, I believe it came out like a few days ago actually, was the Red Band trailer for The Shape of Water, which is a show that I'm excited to see because of who's on board. You know, Guillermo del Toro. Another R-rated film from him. I haven't seen that. His last one, that haunted house one.
That's one. This boy.
God, I forgot the name of it. Jeez, you know, because I haven't seen it. That's like the one Del Toro movie that I have not seen, and that's because of the reviews.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, the imitable Claude did a review of it, and he loved it. So
yes, because that's right up his whole. You know, he loves this gothic, fiction kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I need to watch that film before I watch The Shape of Water for sure. Yes, I actually want to cover all of his movies before jumping into this one. So
I did. Yeah, I saw that about. I don't know. I just watched it like a couple of weeks after he did the review, and I was I didn't love it as much as he did, but I totally understand why you would love it. It's actually really well made.
Yeah, of course. It's Del Toro. It's Del Toro. Yeah.
A lot of people appreciate it. And well, speaking of Del Toro, we're going to see. Well, I don't know how much is involved, but. Hellboy, right?
We got to see our first still of Hellboy. What's so amusing is that that's not Ron Perlman that you're seeing there, my friend. No. It's another guy, but I forgot his name though.
That thing's a smart call because Ron Perlman is so iconic to the role at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to imagine anybody else around him. It's kind of like, it's kind of like Iron Man and Tony Stark and
Robert Downey Jr. Somebody else trying to play him.
It's kind of hard to imagine anyone else in the role at this point.
Yeah.
Or Hugh Jackman or Wolverine. It's like that.
Right, but they
aesthetically come real good and then make a really brilliant movie for you to forget the old actor.
Right, but on the subject of that, the brilliant movie, what are your thoughts on the whole R-rated approach that they want to do here? Because to me, it kind of comes out with Hellboy, like they're gearing up to be an R film.
That's the direction you have to go.
Yeah, because to me, it kind of coming off like, we're going to do like a remake, like a Punisher. Like how they did the Punisher, like years ago, something like that.
Yeah, no, but that was the call that anybody and everybody had to do. So look, superhero movies, when you're doing your anti-hero characters, your movie need to be R-rated or very, very on the edge, PG-13 kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You have to. Sorry, because that's the only way to make it work. But you have to respect the material. You can't just say, well, they're gonna be badass for badass sake. That nonsense, right? And they go put like 10 strippers in the movie or some bullshit like that. Right?
Yeah, but Hellboy essentially was always darker, even from the first movie, I find. The second one was lighter, but still, the tone of it was always dark.
Hellboy is right up the alley because everybody's clamoring for the R-rated Wolverine movie for forever.
Yeah.
And finally got it and it was great. And everybody considered it like the best Wolverine movie, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Same thing with what's the other one? By Blade is another one you could argue. Yeah, the other R-rated movies. Punisher, we'll see what happen with. Well, Punisher's a TV series now, so I don't know.
Right. So on the subject of TV, good thing to bring up TV. We got our season premiere of the Orville, which is Seth MacFarlane's latest project. And I want to hear your thoughts on it. But all I would just say is at the moment right now is this. Okay, I got where he was coming from with it. Clearly, this man loves Star Trek. He's a Star Trek buff. Clearly, you see it there. It's all over this season premiere. And I was feeling the story and thing, but it's because we live in a world where you associate Seth MacFarlane with Ted and Family Guy, and then also we live in a world where stuff like Spaceballs and A Million Ways to Die in the West exists now. So when you look at Orville, you see the Star Trek influence. You're thinking, it's going to be a spoof of it, or is it going to be like some kind of tongue-in-cheek version of it? And I just got some kind of weird, dramatic comedy thing that just didn't work for me.
Before I actually talk about the show, I just want to talk about the running preamble with it because, identity politics infecting the discussion.
Right.
for one understand, well, okay, so a lot of Star Trek fans haven't really been happy with the JJ Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
What we call
even right down to Beyond too. Like
right.
y'all don't like Beyond.
A lot of people like Beyond. A lot of fans like Beyond, but Beyond didn't make money. So
true. Okay.
But whatever. But my point is, when JJ took over and he did the Kelvin timeline, a lot of people was in blowback with it, and I already gave my opinion of why that had to be the way it was.
Yeah.
Because everybody, because the whole thing before that was a complete shit show, right? The TNG films was a complete disaster on average, but it was quote unquote aesthetically close, even though the movies were like completely nonsense and incoherent movies on average, except for probably the second TNG film, which is the 8th film, as First Contact.
Right. Dumb question, right? Just to stop you there, because I'm asking this because I recently watched the X-Files movie, first time ever in my life. I know I really late for the party, right? But still, did those movies that came out ever, like the Next Generation stuff, like Generations and those things, ever tied in at all to the shows, like season end, like how X-Files did, they had the movie and then it just continued from there?
That's an excellent question.
Right.
That's the main reason why those movies failed, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Because with Generations, Insurrection, and Nemesis didn't tie into the TV show in any workable way. Like I gave my fix on the internet, like in my nerd circles, like what they should have done with those movies. With Generations, they should have referenced Guinan and make it all about Guinan, or make it about the Elorians. So he actually explained them, because they were never explained in the show. First Contact actually worked because they did reference the Borg, and they carried on to Picard's arc within the Borg. So that kind of worked, even though it had a bunch of dumb action John McClane bullshit in it.
Yeah, but people love First Contact though.
Right, First Contact is actually generally well received, and I actually like it as well. I actually give it a reasonably high score, even within the context of Star Trek movies.
Right.
With 9, they again dropped the ball, because with 9 you had a premise that totally was like right up Deep Space Nine alley in terms of the whole moral equivalence problem. Now you had a big moral situation of utility versus deontics within the Federation, and DS9, that's all what DS9 was about. So that's what they should have done with Insurrection. They shall make it a crossover movie within DS9 and TNG.
Right.
You basically have Sisko and Picard basically coming at each other, right? So you're making more about that. And you have an ethical argument. They didn't do it, so the movie fell flat. And then 10 is the worst of the worst.
Of course, Nemesis. Everybody knows that's the worst.
Yeah, Nemesis had no excuse being that bad, because again, you had a whole story arc, right, dealing with the Romulans and Spock, and dealing with that government and upheaving the government. No mention of Spock in the movies.
Wow.
No mention of Spock. They just have this character who's a clone of Picard and certain nonsense. Like, why didn't you just make it all about Spock and what he was doing on Romulus, helping out the Romulans and trying to join back? They had a whole story arc that was brilliant called Unification. Never referenced it. So the movies fell flat and they sucked. And it showed. Anyway, we get kind of too deep in the woods because I had to talk about Orville. Anyway, the movies failed. They did really poorly. I think when Nemesis was out, that was the same year Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings came out.
But started I think it was 2001 or 2 it came out. I think it was. Yeah.
So it get us thumped to the box office completely. By those two other movies, I think. And then so they had to reboot it. They brought out JJ Trek. JJ Trek was aesthetically really different. A lot of people hated it. I didn't like it myself, I'll admit. But the thing is, from an entertainment movie standpoint, it was that bad. It's a movie that I give a marginal score to. I
like the movies all the same. It's not something I'll come back to in a hurry.
They could have done more with it.
Yeah.
With that the first JJ Trek, I thought the first JJ Trek was okay. But here's the thing, you had a big split with the fans. And you had this interesting kind of weird gamble. And again, I'm going to get into the identity politics part of this, right?
Right.
So, with the new series, a lot of people saying, all right, well, they have the movies, but really what makes Star Trek shine is the series. You have a good long-form storytelling. You have a whole season to tell arcs and make it work. And you could really explore decent concepts with solid focus writing. So you need a new series.
Right, and more or less introduce new viewers who think Star Trek is just all about lens flare now.
That's the thing. With Star Trek, much like with Star Wars, you have a kind of generational split with the fans.
Right.
But the problem is that with Star Trek, because Star Trek is a little different in terms of the nature of the audience. The audience is more technical, for lack of a better term, more conscientious.
Right.
The audiences have to kind of pass down this love now. Not really. It can't be like, oh, well, we're going to do Star Trek in our own way, and we're going to do it in this way. So with the new series, Star Trek Discovery, what end up happening is that you have a case of Star Trek going in a direction that people may not like at all. Now, Star Trek was always quote unquote SJW, right? If you want to use that really stupid kind of crass term, in terms of progress and whatever it is. But the writers and with at least the characters within the world treat it as kind of post, right? Star Trek is quote unquote post-feminist, post this. You don't even think about it. It's just treated as a given.
Right.
In terms of race, in terms of culture, in terms of gender identity. Well, they're not really getting to that so much in Star Trek but they might do it in this new one.
Yeah, of course. 2017.
And then the lead is a black female, so it's feeling kind of on the nose with the SJW stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there's having a blowback. And enter the Orville, where you could I don't think Seth MacFarlane did it intentionally. Well, we're going to cater to the old Star Trek fans, but the way the Orville is designed and how it feels in terms of, at least when I watch the trailers, is we're doing Galaxy Quest all over again.
Oh yeah, right.
That's what it is. It's Galaxy Quest. It's this big love for the fans, and it's this big homage to fan base and fandom and old fandom who stay loyal for all this time.
Real retro stuff, intentionally
right,
retro.
A little bit, and then we're gonna be funny. Now, in my actual review of the Orville itself, I personally thought it fell flat.
Me
right?
too.
It was really unpolished. Editing didn't work. Pacing was kind of bad. A lot of the blocking and how the characters interact with each other was kind of bad. It was
there were a couple of shots actually that didn't look good. Like there was one shot in particular where you saw the ship coming to the Orville and it just cuts to like about a second of black and then you see it coming from the side. It just didn't look. It looked off to me.
But the thing is, I give everything a chance. It's a pilot. It's a pilot.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say, oh well, Orville is a complete mess and the shitting on it. But because I was going to skip it when I saw the rating online. I saw it got like a really low score on Metacritic.
And Rotten Tomatoes too.
Right, but then I was watching. But then when you watch the fan like it for, you're seeing the fans like it for a high reason, and I'm wondering if it's this kind of a kind of SJW blowback is like, oh well, even though Orwell kind of sucks, it can't be as bad as the SJW Star Trek Discovery, and it's kind of like this. And the thing is, the Star Trek Discovery situation becoming really antagonistic, because I forget who's the leader, who's the captain. Who's the actor? I forget his name. It's slipping my mind. He's a real good actor. He was in that last movie. Shit.
The captain for what?
For Star Trek Discovery. He's so outright. He tell them. They kind of want to like dispose of the old fans now, because the old fans too nitpicky now.
Right.
And won't give the show a fair shake. So again, the feeling that people only liking the Orville because just a hate on
Star Trek Discovery. But that's that's dumb though.
Well, that's the thing, exactly. And they didn't see Star Trek Discovery yet, but Discovery have all of this really bad signs going into it. It have a Ghostbusters vibe going into it.
Oh, I see.
A couple bad red flags. One, almost everything is on this CBS All Access nonsense. Instead of putting it out on the network itself, right? Putting it on the All Access channel, so you can only see it through the All Access. But that's stupid. That's a bad move. Right?
Yeah, it's almost like they freed about viewership now, that kind of thing.
Yeah, why even do that? And the show, now when I watch the Discovery trailer, there's a lot of things I like, but there's a lot of things I'm not liking. And then you're hearing some stuff about the writers who want to outright make the Klingons Trump supporters. So it's coming across as really contrived and hackneyed from a political standpoint. Yeah. So again, you're feeling that you're seeing just a blowback. That the only reason that people are liking the Orville, because I can't, in good conscience, watch the Orville and say, this really good and so brilliant and well done. You think flat.
Sorry. It is.
Right. The thing is really flat, but again, I've seen so much people saying they like it, and the Orville, when you watch the actual ratings, it did well. Did pretty well.
Right.
And again, a kind of DCU vibe from it now. You have a bunch of people who really like the DCU, even though the DCU is a hot mess.
Yeah.
So again, you're feeling the only reason they're liking it because of this, but a lot of those DCU fans not liking Wonder Woman as much as the other movies, so you're wondering, alright, so is that kind of sexist thing going on? You're not sure. But because the other side kind of feeding into it, you can't gauge this properly now. Like with Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters wasn't that bad, but the behavior of Sony make it look bad.
Yeah.
And again, they're doubling down and being too protective, much like with Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, if they didn't take these people on and just made a movie, it would have been better than what we got. But they don't prepare themselves for that hate now. So they put up that shield, and it was a shield that's largely unnecessary when you think about it, in my opinion.
Right, understand.
And it's the same thing. They're wasting more energy on just making the show good than defending against these fans. They're going to have Jackass fans who hate it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes. Just make your thing and stop trying to protect it and hide it and move it here. No, put it out for everybody. See who hate it, see who like it, and then push for that.
Yeah, and then take from the criticism and make it better, or cancel it wherever you want to do.
If you want to play stories sucking and not giving shows a chance, just go back and watch TNG first 2 seasons. If that shit did come out now, TNG would have get cancelled first season.
Yeah.
TNG is a hot mess. The first 2 seasons of TNG is terrible. But then you get season 3 and, you know, it's sci-fi television history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 was just so goddamn amazing and brilliant for many people. And yeah, you had to give a show a chance. Do the show. Don't let the fans hate on it. Don't let what happened to it. Because what I feel going to happen with the show is exactly what going to happen with Stargate Universe. A show that was going to get better if it crossed season 2 and they should have given it a damn chance and it get cancelled. Because they didn't give it a chance.
Right, yeah.
As I say, the Orville, and again, I'm not putting it in Seth MacFarlane. I don't think he does this intentionally, but it's feeling reactionary in all the wrong ways. And he himself said he wanted to do his own Star Trek, so it's reactionary in the sense of, well, I'm going to do my Star Trek and make it work. But that shit fell really flat and didn't work. But whatever, that could get better too. And I'll watch both shows. It's not like I'll watch either show or the other.
Yeah, I actually want to sort it on with it too.
Again, the feeling that a lot of people liking the Orville only in bad faith.
Okay.
I can't in good conscience watch that and say, boy, it is real good and so smart and funny. Nowhere near as good as, say, Galaxy Quest, for example.
No, yeah.
Whatever.
But just for me, this inclusion with the Orville, I just, you know, like I said before, it's because of the name Seth MacFarlane. You know what to expect from him, even right down to his Star Wars spoofs now from Family Guy. You're expecting a level of humor in it now, but I was surprised when I saw it how dramatic it was now. But that, you know, drama in the sense that, okay, we have a real story going on with real characters, there's real stuff going on. We're not gonna just have a laugh a minute. But I think it's because of that and when you do get the last year, not that much in my opinion, it just really fell flat for me now. So it's like, okay, what is it trying to do here?
That's the problem. Is you know, when you can't pick a tone, I like to use a physics reference. It's destructive interference.
Yeah.
One is cancelling out the other, so you just get a flat tone entirely. They couldn't pick a right tone, so you couldn't get one side or the other. Either if you mix it perfectly, you get a kind of a high band and you get a synthesis of greatness, right? But sometimes you get the opposite. When you have a clashing of tones, they cancel each other out entirely, and you get a black spot. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
That's how I saw this. This was like that. They couldn't pick a right tone. A lot of it didn't gel at all. As I said, because everything was so unpolished, it's a pilot, whatever.
Yeah.
But everything felt really unpolished overall, so I couldn't get into it.
Especially
especially when they hit the second arc. When they hit the second arc, I was like, wow, this is not going nowhere for me though.
Even right down to where Seth met his ex-wife and, you know, the little banter between the two. Started off good, but then it was just like, okay, just stop it. We get the point. All right, you're just going to keep...
None of it worked. They didn't work. And the problem is that Seth himself, I'm going to straight up say it, Seth is a really contrived actor in the sense that he just try to do this classical look to everything. But the man is a shit actor. Sorry, you have no damn talent.
He's the same in every show he's in.
Yeah, he's the same in every show he's in. Like, but he, like, when you actually see him on paper, he just kind of work out. He could sing, he could do voices, he could do all of this thing on paper. But, like, when it's actually time for him to actually perform on camera, sucks.
Yeah.
You have a terrible screen presence.
Yeah.
You have a terrible screen presence, in my opinion. Whatever.
All right, but, you know, in due time, you'll see how this show turns out. If they do cancel it, well...
the unfortunate part, I don't think either show will get cancelled necessarily, but the unfortunate part, everybody gonna be comparing it to Star Trek Discovery, and you'll have all these jackasses who be like, well, Orville so much funnier and cleverer, and it's like, yeah, but it's not. And
it's not.
Just trying to contrive your rebellion battle now.
Right.
Just blow back.
Yeah. Also in regards to television, before I forget, I didn't even know this until like a couple days ago. Both Broad City, which is one of my favorite Comedy Central shows, by the way.
Yeah.
And South Park started back last week.
Right.
I really enjoyed the premiere, season 4 premiere of Broad City. I love that episode. They took this particular movie, I forgot the name of it, but they brought their own spin on it, basically. That's all I'll say. So, yeah, and also South Park, season 21 has started. I don't think it started off on a strong note, though, unfortunately. The reason being is because, you know, like, from the episode, like, from your first episode, you kind of get a hint of what to expect. But, you know, they kind of leave it at somewhat at a little cliffhanger there. So, you know, okay, I need to tune in next to see what happens afterwards. But here, it's just like, it just kind of stops and just... You know, credits. That's it.
Right. Okay, so South Park, when they started to do the serialized storytelling, season 18. Now, in my opinion, season 18 is still to this day so goddamn brilliant for me. Like I just love season 18. 19 was okay. It was kind of funny, but a lot of it didn't work. And then although a lot of people like 19, 19 was really well received, and it was again to blow back against the SJWs, that.
Right.
But then 20 was a mess, Dread. I hated 20. 20 just sucked entirely. And then I sat down and did just a run through of what 20 was about, like the second half of it. And yeah, it totally sucked. It didn't work. It didn't make sense. The arc didn't work. It kind of seemed to break their own rules in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
So it was just a sort of like just run from set point to set piece to set point to set piece to set point.
That whole season finale thing with the trolls and the whole big revelation just fell apart so quickly, boy, so quickly. And the build up to be this ultimate reveal. Now when you see it's like, wait, does it really?
Right.
Something with Switzerland? What?
Right.
Okay.
It was dumb. It was really dumb. But what I think happened, and I think other people probably have this analysis, but what I think happened. So because Trump won instead of Hillary, and everybody thought Hillary would win, they right for that now.
Yeah, well, I know they do that. They always like to write. They always write
ahead.
Ahead now. Same thing they did with. I always remember this when Saddam Hussein was killed. Yeah. So they did an episode like about a week afterwards, making fun of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they kind of predict. Because they're doing a serialized season instead of the episodic content. They really thought Hillary was going to win. A lot of people thought so too, right? Nope, Trump won. Sorry. And what ended up happening is they ended up undermining the whole arc.
The whole giant douche thing. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure they had a whole arc involved with the whole Hillary thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It backfired in the face because of that, and the whole season didn't work. And with season 21, they did a whole bit with this whole
with Alexa and
the Alexa thing, but the whole joke with the running out of jobs and machines and that whole shit.
That thing came back.
The whole episode was terrible. It started okay, and then just the second half just fell completely flat because was the message exactly? Was the joke?
And even the whole Kendrick Lamar humble thing that they was hyping up, that was right. That was right.
That was okay fun. That was kind of funny. But
how it ended though with that's not Kenny's father, right? It was somebody else.
No. That's he's a character who's been in the show.
Right. Yeah. And they had this kind of weird arc going on with Stan's father trying to be this home renovator, and he have the show.
Right.
And they never get to why his wife is always so quiet now. And I thought they would have stopped to be like, okay, well, she's not enjoying this clearly. That's why she's looking so. But they never address it though.
We'll see in future episodes, but the episode they want to tackle the whole Nazi thing. But what they're making the joke of, I think the joke was, or at least the message was, well, the only way to quell, white people who in a mess is, or white hate monger types, is to give them comforts, future comforts. That's the joke.
Okay.
But they make the joke, it's all about where there's white people renovating houses. So that's the joke, I think. Which is, if once they don't give white people the creature comfort, they'll behave like Nazis and haters, and they'll come out in mobs and all that shit. Right. I think that was the idea, but it's like I
didn't pick up on that, to be honest. It just didn't work for me. That whole bit.
The authors of South Park, Santa Richie pointed in Diminishing Returns with their whole message, because they kind of create a whole culture of apathy. Remember, that's the whole point. They try to shit on somebody who on a side, but they themselves don't really have an opinion. And when they think about it, a lot of the ideas is this kind of non-issue, kind of in between positions now. This kind of false, weak form of centrism essentially. So with this now, with the whole blowout, with the whole it had the Nazis with the tiki torches thing. Mm-hmm. They started to look like asses now because they don't have an opinion, because they don't have something to say. So I'm like, well, who this was for exactly? Yeah. All they know good for is like, if you like something too much, they could shit on that.
Of course, they've been doing that for ages, right?
For a very long time.
Yeah.
And that has reached its point of diminishing returns. So we'll see what going on in the future of South Park. I thought it was terrible.
The thing is with Cartman's arc though, well, you could say kind of starts. It just kind of stops abruptly to me. So it's like, what? So okay, he split with his girlfriend now. So what? Right. He's gonna start this love affair with Alexa now. That's the only thing that runs through my mind now. But like, but why, or what is it going to lead up to? What's the point here? It just kind of just stops abruptly, and it's like, all right, okay. Apart from all that too,
any cartoon that get too popular or too long, or if it gets popular too fast, will eventually start having the blowbacks because they don't really have much to say. As I said, as I expected, Rick and Morty is like that as well right now. So I have a blowback against Rick and Morty, but we're going to talk about Rick and Morty.
Speaking of Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
Holy shit. We got, in my opinion, the best episode of season 3. Hell, one of the best episodes ever of Rick and Morty.
Right.
My God, it's to me though. I'll just get a brief review of it. To me, what they pull off though is like, it's not just that Ricks and Mortys can't coexist, or they'll always kind of fall out, and then the results will be like real terrifying. But now they're showing that Ricks can exist. Well, at least we saw that with the season premiere, season 3. But now Mortys can exist now, so we get all these weird scenarios that happen in the Citadel now. But how they pull all this off in 22 minutes for one thing, and then had one guy doing all the voices throughout the entirety of it. Well, there's this one guy who does this certain commercial that's a specific subplot in it. Was just mind blowing. Like this is just epic to me. Like just one of the most amazing things I've seen on TV this year.
Right. It was, and while I liked about the episode, it was a complete fake out in the promos. We had no idea that shit was coming.
Exactly, but even right down to the title, the Ricklantis Mixup. It's like that, but it's had nothing to do with them.
Yeah, they do the promos. The promos was Rick and Morty, we go into Atlantis, they gubbied, and then they cut it with and they show the entire end sequence. So they show the opening and the end sequence, and then they just at the end they just barely mention, oh well, what happened with the Citadel, and then they move on.
Right.
Like, and then with the episode itself, they just cut straight to the Citadel and Tales of the Citadel. So they follow up from. Now I have a couple questions. It have a couple little questions, like things already add up with it, but
but there's a lot of theories going on, and I think if you go up online, there are people that talking about this episode.
Continuity stuff and like how this happening and who's what where.
Good point. Yeah.
Right, but the thing is though is they're gonna get into, but they don't really matter because they can answer these questions later. It's one of these things that can just come up.
Because to me, I saw it as a possibility. This could become a reality one day if things don't work out.
And then what they do with it is, so they do what? They have like 4 or 5 different subplots.
I think it's like 5 in total for what I call 4 or 5.
They Stand By Me stuff.
Yeah, the Stand By Me it was good. Right. Yeah, we had the whole 24 thing with this guy going up for election, and then his partner and assassinating him basically in broad daylight. Yeah, that caught me off guard.
The Morty arc.
Yeah, but the one story that stood out to me though was the Ricks who were working in that factory, who were making the factory arc. I love that.
And then they did I don't know what to call it, but I just call it the training day arc.
Oh yes. That was one of my favorites too. That scene where they go inside that nightclub though. Awesome.
Like, it makes some sense, but if you think about it, it makes some sense. Because face value is like, this will make no sense. But like, if it's just a set of Mortys, over time some weird shit like that will exist.
Yeah, Mortys killing Mortys. You know what I mean?
When Cup Morty said don't think about it, I was like, all right, that makes some sense in terms of men over time now.
Yeah.
It is stick. And then when it answers a couple questions, well, one, a lot of the Mortys don't have homes to go to. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Yeah.
But that was the big thing. The big thing at the end of when you first know that there was an evil Morty out there.
Right.
Which was you would get the feeling, oh, they're just gonna send the Ricks back to the Earth now, and just gonna live out their life. Apparently not. They couldn't.
Yeah.
A ton of Mortys. I said Rick, sorry. A ton of Mortys back to their own home now without a Rick.
Yeah.
Like no, all of them stay on the Citadel. I was like, whoa, why? That was the first big question. I thought they would have sent most of them home now. It's like, wait, I have a bunch of Morty-less Ricks. Sorry, a bunch of Rickless Mortys.
Yeah, in the slums, they're just there.
But none of them going back to Earth.
Yeah.
Why didn't they send them back home? Like, they have no life to go back to? Holy shit, that kind of dread. Then they did the whole simple Rick thing. That was, remember the fake scenario that Rick make up in episode 1?
I try to remember what it was.
Right, go back in episode 1 when they show a quote unquote origin of Rick, and it's not an origin.
Oh, right. When his family died in September 11 apparently, or something like that.
That's the same guy.
Oh, really?
It's not the same dude. It could be a different dude, but he's looking just like the same guy.
Wow. Okay. Well, no, I need to rewatch that. Okay.
Yeah, it's his daughter. But remember, Rick says a fake scenario.
Yeah. That he came up with that in his head to trick the guy who was trying to brainwash him, right?
I get the feeling that might be real. But here's my theory. Remember the other Rick who he met?
Yes.
I feel that is our Rick. That is why he could remember it.
Oh.
And he's the one who sent the bomb to kill Tick. I feel that is our Rick personally. That is my theory.
Right.
That Rick, remember that Rick was, so he had like a kind of bad point in his life. He get real psycho and nihilistic. No?
Yes.
As he said, he's like, oh well, you gonna reject my thing to the infinite, Rick? All right, fuck you, I'm gonna destroy your family, kind of thing. Now, that's why I get the feeling that happened there. And then that Rick eventually get sent to the Simple Rick factory because he have the most emotion now. Because remember the whole point of emotion and having the best memories now.
Yeah.
So and to make the Simple Rick candy bar taste better now for other Ricks apparently. It's the same chemical or whatever it is. They synthesize now.
Yeah.
That is my working theory.
Yeah. But one thing I love that a show like this could create theories for one thing, but secondly, I just love the detail in these shorts though. Like 22 minutes, like you basically end up in the middle of everything now, you know, because they are short films, right? But they feel so detailed now, like you want to know more about each story now, you know, from the training day stuff to the factory stuff. You want to know more now, even the government stuff, which I was like, shit, I want to know more about this.
Thing they did was, remember, well, a lot of people think how the trench coat Rick, that trench coat Rick is probably a fake now.
Right.
He's not a real Rick. He's a compromised Rick by the Morty now. Because he has the question. First question. This was the big question I asked. Wait, if it's a Rick, why is he giving the information to Morty? He's a Rick. He could just come out with the information himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? That is a compromised Rick. So you do that just to set up the Morty to make him shoot him. I'm going to get a little too deep in this, but probably too much. He shake his hand. And Morty tried to shoot him with his left hand, but Morty is not a left-handed Morty. Most Mortys are right-handed. Remember the fat Morty say, I thought I was the only left-handed Morty.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So he shoot him and missed the shot intentionally. I pick up on that. It's like, wait, he's not left-handed. Why? Okay. But because in nature, the show does make your brain, you know, look for details now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, he shoot the shot. The President Morty know you'd have fuck it up now. You know you'd have fuck up the shot. He would have get shoot. And because the thing in Rick and Morty, the only way to really die in this world is to like blow up or something. Like you have to be completely shattered and turn into meat now. But if you get injured, because it's Ricks and Rick have all this technology and it's a citadel of Ricks, you get shot in your chest, you can survive that relatively easy. You would have survived the shot. Even if he got shot in his heart.
Yeah, what if he got shot in the head though?
That's the thing. It's only probably getting shot in the head and your whole head had to blow up now.
Yeah.
I noticed that everybody who's died, is die completely, like headshot, head blow up kind of thing.
Yeah. Real gruesome stuff, but
into something like what happened to the weird old man Rick in the slums now. Same thing now. The with his boy Big Morty, that was the crime boss kind of guy.
Yes.
He got shot in his head. Right? The cop Morty got shot in his head as well. Stuff like that. That's about it. But if he got shot in his heart, no, he can survive. He survived.
Yeah. Right. So one last thing I just want to say, though. I love the dialogue in this. I love the dialogue. So much memorable lines, though. Like Mermaid Puss, and what one of the Mortys in the Stand By Me sketch said, how he wishes that incest poor because more mainstream. Just saying that for a friend, you know?
Right.
Like, he just says so fast, and it's like, oh shit, he said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I thought what they would do with that, because somebody did a Photoshop online, but I thought what they would do, remember all the Mortys are Jessicas? I thought one of them was someone. So yeah, hint, they could link it back now. That is a joke they could do. Well, no, I find the cop Morty was the funniest because it was like a total, again, it really feel like Traded Day Alonzo.
It did, real dark.
They do it like that. Black, and they do the race thing, the race dynamics good.
Of course,
Other jokes. Anybody, I don't know if you know a presidential candidate, the rent is too damn high.
No.
Okay, so look up a guy, the rent is too damn high. It's a guy, something McMillan, I forget, Jimmy McMillan, I think is the guy's name. And he's a guy who just keep talking about the rent is too damn high. So every presidential election, he just get fame, and he said the rent is too damn high. It had one of the Ricks who looked just like that guy.
Okay.
And I noticed that immediately because of how his beard is cut now. You have a really strange, very unique hairstyle now, and they had the Rick look like just like that guy, which was hilarious.
Right.
That's a funny bit.
And there was also the Willy Wonka Rick. That's why I call it the Willy Wonka Rick.
That was referencing the whole Simple Ricks thing.
Yes.
And then they did the whole arc with Simple Rick. Well, the same Simple Rick dead now. He just gets sent to the blender dimension. That was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it was.
And then they just repeat the arc by having him have the good memories of him taking over and taking the Guyana job now. And he'll enjoy himself. And then he just shoot him in the back of his head and then take the memories. That was brutal. And last but certainly not least, though, I love the end in the post-credit scene where the Rick and Morty that we were introduced to come back from Ricklantis, and I love how they just set it up so simple, so subtle. Where they had fun, they had the best time of their lives, but their friendship, their relationship,
Is it gonna last? We don't know. Based off of what we saw, it might end horribly. You know, we don't know.
Right. No, the way how they did it is that you say, well, I wonder what happened to the Citadel. It's like, well, those people will never affect us, and it's like, no. Firstly, he knows where you are.
Yes.
Morty now knows where these people are. They know which dimension they're in. Clearly, that was pretty badass. Although they should have known from before anyway, and because since Rick tried to destroy the Citadel. Remember, they lose a lot of records and information and stuff now. Maybe delete a bunch of shit now.
Yeah.
That was one. And then because the Galactic Senate, well, not the Galactic government gone through as well. A lot of things in chaos right now. So President Morty just take advantage of all of that shit and making it work now. And they're really doing the whole fascism arc really, really well.
Right.
Quite well, because he mentioned that whole thing about a time for action now. One time you hear somebody saying time for action, like some fascism shit you're going to get in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really, really excited for this. Most likely we won't see this sort itself out until season 4. Although I think the finale is supposed to be referencing it. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that.
Yeah, but I really can't wait to see what they do with the last 3 episodes for this season, Mike. This one, my God.
I'm expecting this to be good. Yeah, they're wrapping it up soon.
Yeah.
This was pretty good. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I don't like it as much as other animated shows, but it's really, really well done. And I was enjoying it because of that. As I say, it's a blunter version of Futurama.
Definitely.
But they give it a decent and really solid arc, and they're making it work. I really enjoyed that episode.
And I love the ambitiousness of this episode, though. So I hope that we see. I don't think they might ever top this episode in the future, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, it's an easy top 5 for me in terms of Rick and Morty.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Alright, and finally, before we get to actual reviews, we have to say rest in peace to the incomparable Harry Dean Stanton. We got the news Friday that he passed away at age 91 of natural causes. And for me, though, like, you know, there were numerous films that he was in. Some of them that I saw years ago, some that I haven't checked out, some I saw years but, you know, just need to rewatch. So case in point, he was in The Godfather Part 2. He was in Alien. Great performance in Alien. Repo Man, one of my favorite 80s cult films. Paris, Texas, which is one I need to see. You know,
Paris, Texas is a movie I didn't expect to enjoy so much because I was just running through. I remember just sitting down and watching through a catalog of films with him himself. And I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch Paris, Texas. It's a movie I always wanted to see. And I thoroughly enjoyed that film. I didn't expect it to be so good.
Right. That is one I really need to watch it because I started watching it and I was like, all right, this kind of boring. But that was years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it have a brutal speech in it, where he was talking to a stripper.
Right.
Brutal. Goddamn brutal. Well, it's like a call girl kind of thing. But you'll see it when you see it. You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah. He also had a little, blink and you miss it cameo in the Avengers.
Yes. Son, you got a condition.
Yeah. He was
really well done.
He also was in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. He wasn't in the series. Yes. His character was in that particular movie, and he was also in the season 3, which I reviewed in the last episode.
Yeah.
I was so surprised to see him there. By the way, I forgot to mention it in the last review. But I thought that his well, I mean, he was old there, but just seeing him back in the acting game again, was pretty amazing,
Right.
Yeah, and even David Lynch himself, put out a tweet, more or less acknowledging his life and his contribution to film, and that was really, really admirable, Yeah. So with that being said, though, man, Harry Dean Stanton, rest in peace. Your movies, your performances will live on, man.
All
right. So now we'll go back to YouTube in a bit. Well, in a way, sense. So I don't know about you, Ricardo, but I've been hearing about this guy, this rapper boy, this Florida rapper, XXXTentacion rapper. Just seeing his name all over the place, man.
Here's the thing, I have no idea who this dude is. I've already seen his name. I don't know what songs he have, and all I know is that he apparently was involved in some criminal something. Right.
Well, from what I have heard from him, right, his real name is Jace Onfroy. If I get the name, if I pronounce the name wrong, forgive me. Right, he's only 19 years old. He got into some very hot water, like a lot of controversy, stemming from the sexual abuse to his girlfriend, his pregnant girlfriend at the time. And Pitchfork put out an article about the stuff that he did, some very graphic stuff. Like there was this one instance where he beat her, where he punched her so hard in the face, like both her eyes swelled, she couldn't even see. and just all these graphic tales, just stuff that he was going
here's
through.
My thing. Here's my problem. I
Right.
don't know who this guy is before this.
All right. Okay.
This guy was popular before this.
Well, here's the thing.
It's not like Bobby Shmurda or something.
No. Well, good point. Good point.
There's like 1-2 songs that real hot, and you know he hands all over the place, and then he do some bullshit, and you could, okay, you understand why that. Or even somebody as big as Chris Brown, because this fella does something like he going in the Chris Brown school of kickboxing. So
you know, right? Well, right. Well, what's interesting about him is that he started off in SoundCloud basically. So he had a song that he released December 31st, 2015, called "Look at Me." We'll get to that "Look at Me" thing in a bit, right? And that just took this particular beat that a lot of rappers rapped on, and I know Lil Dicky rapped this song where he's talking about his side effects of smoking marijuana on it. You know, is this real common beat that they took a sample from this EDM song, I think. This that you've heard it lots of times now, but the way the beat is like real. Like the volume is like way up now, it's like real tuned up kind of stuff now, and he just basically rapping this really shallow, really, you know, hedonistic lyrics, all that kind of stuff. But what kind of put him into the spotlight, you know, well, this year actually,
right,
is when our boy Drake actually put out a song on his More Life mixtape, hybrid, whatever. And real people, like in the first 2 bars now, people was like, wait, now you stole that flow from X.
Okay.
And Drake was like, no, I didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. You know him already, you know? So, you know, people was real making out Drake for that now, right? But yeah, so X basically brought out that song, and he also brought out Riot, right? Which I'll talk about as well too. And those songs real blew up and stuff, and you know, he was making it big really in the, you know, online in the internet scene. But then, you know, with the whole controversy surrounding, you know, the abuse and all that kind of stuff. And he was arrested at the time when Drake brought out that track, by the way. So people was just like, oh, how Drake could do that, man behind bars, and all that kind of stuff now, you know. So you know, X was taking shots at Drake, and I remember Offset from Migos took shots at him, and, you know, all kind of madness, right? But basically, X is out of jail now. He signed on to a label just based off of the success off of that Look at Me song, right?
Right.
And then he actually brought out an album last month called 17. I haven't listened to it yet, but I hear it was kind of mixed. It got like mixed reviews. And then again, anytime I really wasn't concentrating on him, I was just always seeing his name pop up so many times, but I was just like, alright, I really don't know this guy. A lot of young rappers coming out, you know, so it's just hard for me to keep up. And like right now, I'm trying to catch up on so much albums right now, you know. So when you tell me, oh, I should listen to this guy X, is like, well, why exactly, you know? And then this video came out by just a few days ago, right after my birthday, man. For Look at Me, right? Now the thing is, I didn't even know about it until I saw some reaction videos. Because there's lots of reaction videos for it right now on YouTube, right? So he is a guy who likes to bait people, right? So he would. So like basically in the video itself, from the impression that we got here with the intro for Look at Me now, cause the beat starts and you see this kind of real trippy, kind of immature video. But like, all right, that's right up his alley, because you know there's all this kind of hedonistic stuff anyway. It's this thing involving him and getting this dildo and slapping a teacher about with it. It was like real shallow stuff. That's like, all right, okay, well maybe you're trying to go for this kind of weird humor. Okay, it's been done before, you know, whatever. And then suddenly the video just stops and we get to another song from him called Riot. Now the thing is with Riot now, the full track itself is like is under 2 minutes long now. But the video itself, the video for Look at Me is like 5 minutes long, like about 5.5 minutes long, right? So the song starts, right? And then we get the shot of X and 2 other fellas hanging from a tree. And I read up online that apparently he put up like footage of him doing that same scene on Instagram, and people freaked out at it because, you know, the whole issue with suicide now in 2017 and all that kind of stuff. So to show yourself hanging, you know, it will piss people off now for obvious reasons, right? Right. So and then the beat starts. This is the first time I'm hearing Riot. When I saw the video, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this whole 90s boom bap beat, okay. But you know, before the beat even starts, you're showing clips of like these more or less reenactions of like Emmett Till's death. We see reenactions of like this one particular guy, I forgot his name. It's in the video, who was pulled over by the police, and like when he was about to reach for his wallet, you know, they fired shots. Well, the police fired shots at him. That kind of stuff there. So you know, from there, of course, he's talking about, you know, violence against blacks and all that kind of stuff. Going fine, loving the beat. I seen the whole juxtaposition, all that kind of stuff. But in between the song itself, I seen this fella, and he has like two kids with him. One kid is white and he's dressed in black, and the next kid is black dressed in white. I was like, alright, okay. I don't know where you're getting at here. Alright, let's just see where the video goes. Then suddenly the video just stops. But this is right after we see this close up of Exner. And like when I watch it again, to me what I saw now, because this is right after this part where you're seeing this reenactment of a riot, like you know, based off of, you know, police violence, violence against you know, black youth now, right? So from there now, you're seeing X's reaction. It's like, all right, again the sense that, okay, this is not doing anything. We riot injured, but people just not getting the message. Right? So what do I do? What do I do? Then if the song just stops, and we see like the same guy with the two kids, and it like he's on the stage now, like in this building, right?
Right.
And the guy leaves, and then X comes and talks to the white kid, then talks to the black kid, and all of them walk, and you're seeing this noose hanging down, and he essentially puts the noose over the white kid's neck, goes over to the right side of the stage and pulls, right? And if you look like at the edge of the frame, you're seeing like this audience. You can't really determine how big the audience is, but they're all in silhouette, so you don't know what's going on. And they always make sure to cut so you don't see the kid literally hanging there, you know? It always cuts like by as soon as the camera reaches his neck now. So yes, the kid is hung, he's dead, and then it just ends with X on his phone doing this speech. I'll talk about that speech in a bit. Basically reading it off of his phone, and you know, this is one of the things that, you know, just threw people, you know, made people throw hissy fits and stuff, where essentially, yes, he's talking about, you know, racial warfare, you know, violence and all that kind of stuff against blacks, and you know, but yes, this is not just a black issue, it's a white issue. But then he kind of goes on to say that yes, there are supremacists in America, and okay, if you want to remain a supremacist, you could go along and live your lives, be supremacist, but at the same time, you can't go through life being afraid of the other race, you know, because in itself that will cause your children to just grow up with that hate, and it'll become natural for them. So, you know, he's kind of saying, well, don't be afraid of the other race, because no race is superior at the end of the day. I was like, all right, okay. But I know you saw the video, right? So I just want to hear your thoughts from it, just from a technical perspective. What do you think about the video, or what it is he's trying to say, or if it did anything to you at all?
I barely watched. I just noticed that the part with the cop car thing, but I was like, where's... I didn't go into it with any... Again, I still don't know what makes this guy popular. That's my problem now. So I don't know what meaning or anything I'm supposed to do.
I think the whole popularity just stems from the stuff that he's accused of, the stuff that he got arrested for.
Yeah, again.
But apart from that, he's just your basic average young rapper, in my opinion.
Like pathology kind of argument. I still don't get what make him so popular as a person, other than he just beat up his girlfriend, which a lot of guys do.
Yeah, and something with like gun possession and stuff.
Like, okay, if you were to tell me what's the meaning behind a video like Humble or something, I know that because Kendrick Lamar is already an established artist.
Yes.
Right? And it have a bunch of references to photography and all this, that, and the other, right? And filmmaking and whatnot.
Of course, yeah.
But I still don't get what make this extension for important. Anybody can explain that to me?
I wish I could, but you know, I barely know anything about him, to be honest. I just like now discovering this guy.
That is a mystery I'm trying to figure out now. Why it is that this man blew up on the internet with a certain news articles and thing, and he didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and it's not like his album do anything like on the Billboard or whatever. I doubt it.
As they say, the only claim to fame is that Drake ripped him off. Which,
yeah,
all right,
exactly.
Drake, we know Drake is the Kakashi of rappers, fine, but I don't get what that make him popular somehow.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, yeah, they do. Right, they bite rappers all the time. Yeah, they always do.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but all right. So my thing about the video itself, right? Because I I can't in good conscience knock him down because like for me though, like what I wanted to do initially, because I was aware of the video, I wanted to listen to the project itself, because that's how I normally approach like new music, right? New artists, new videos. I listen to the album, I listen to the particular track, and if I like the track or I hate the track, I look at the video itself and say, okay, so this is what the song, this is what the song is, this is what he's trying to convey through the song. You know, it could be a great song, it could be a shit song, whatever it is, right? So, but this is like the first time where I just kind of jump in and I was just like, all right, well, I need to see what the big controversy is about, what the big hype is. And to be honest, when I saw the whole hanging scene thing, I just kind of fake shocked. I was just like, oh, is that is that the thing that everybody's freaked out at? Wow! It didn't shock me, you know. To be honest,
no,
it didn't shock me.
Is it? How popular is the video online?
Right, so this thing currently has over 10 million views, Jed.
How?
And this thing came out on the 12th, on the 12th of this month.
Okay, okay, I had to do some research into the shenanigans because I call in shenanigans on this.
Yeah, no one.
As a rapper, he's so popular before.
That's the thing. Like, okay, people love Look At Me because it's a real hype track and whatever. Okay, fine, but it's not like I hearing this guy on the radio. It's not like he's the next hottest thing out there. Like, no. He did like what a lot of rappers doing nowadays. Well, new upcoming rappers, sorry, use online platforms to get their music out there. Fine, right. It's not the first time it has been done, you know. But I don't know. This is the one issue that I had with the video, right?
Matthew, I get the feeling we're in a Principal Skinner moment of, you know, am I completely out of touch, or is it, or no, the children are wrong, right? So I'm not sure. I get the feeling that either one or two things. Either is some artificial inflated online bullshit, which is possible, or there's some weird thing going on, and we just completely clueless about the popularity of this dude, and he's probably really popular, and we just don't know.
Right. But here's my thoughts on that, right? Good thing that you touch on that. It's like if you scroll down all the comments, is like split in half. Some people praise this video. Some people's like, wow, yes, somebody's speaking out against racial profiling and violence and all that kind of stuff. But then you have other people saying, yeah, this video is a piece of shit, it's pretentious, it's garbage.
All of that is fine, yeah. You know. Here's the thing, anybody can make a video about racial profile or anything political, whatever. Beyonce did it, right?
Yes.
She had a baseball bat and was dancing in a police car in the water.
Yes.
And everybody said that's...
And it was so clever, yeah. It's so clever, right.
The point is, right, Jay-Z did it. So, but the thing is, these are already established people. Here's my question. What exactly is XXXTentacion's claim to fame to make him that popular? Because the man has been in the news constantly.
Yes, he has.
So I wondered where that coming from.
Yeah.
That warrants all of this information. Because I see him on Facebook, I see him on Twitter, people talking about him. He was like, yeah, but why is this man so popular exactly? You know, if it's Kendrick Lamar in the same scenario, I could totally understand it. Very well established artist. If it's somebody like Future, get it. Drake, get it. You have other lower artists like say Bobby Schmurda, who I kind of get because he had a couple decent songs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? It's like saying Lanze. Oh, okay, I don't know if you know who Lanze is because you probably shouldn't Google him, but he's like this really coonery type rapper out right now doing trap music. It's the laziest bullshit. Like it's way worse than Bobby Schmurda videos somehow.
Right.
Anyway, it's like him. It's like if he get into a violent thing and then the news covering this guy all of a sudden. But
yeah.
Why exactly this extension fella so popular?
But dude.
If you tell me 21 Savage, get into thing I can understand.
Because at least we know about it, we heard about it, we heard some tracks from him. But yeah, you're right. But dude, this is the funny thing, and I speaking
in a parallel universe.
You know, and I speaking as a hip hop head, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple days afterwards, Jed, I got this shocking news. It's not really shocking, but like when you think about it, right? Remember that white girl, Danielle Brigoli, you know, the one who was on Dr. Phil?
Right.
You know, the Cash Me Outside.
How about that? Yeah.
She get a record deal with Atlantic Records, Jed, and I'm like, what?
I totally understand why she would have a claim to fame somewhat because she was on Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is a very popular show.
Right, and she have a song out called These Hoes, called
whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, at least I can understand the fame that she have.
Yes.
Get it? Even somebody like Designer could understand.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
Song.
Yeah, Panda and
That is it.
Beating that song down to the ground now. But you are right. You are absolutely right. This is the one main thing that one of the main issues that I have with this video now. Like, okay, like I don't want to come off as some kind of protective parent and be like, well, you shouldn't listen to him. Look at all these things that he's done to his girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. That's an easy argument. Like, why listen to him? If, these issues affect him, okay, fine. I get that. But I can't help but look at this video, Dread, and be like, yeah, you just using shock value to just get attention. That's all there is to it.
Fine, but
that's all there is to it.
I saw the video as well. The video not that shocking.
That's it.
It's shocking.
But no, but yes. But no, here's the thing, right? Okay, it's not shocking to us. We get that. But the thing is, you're trying to make a serious point. I understand what he's trying to say, Dread. But smarter rappers, like say a Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, even right down to Tupac, they won't have to rely on that kind of imagery to sell their point now. The least they would just do is just show them hanging, hanging off the tree. Because look, Tupac did it for his final album where they had a painting of him crucified now, but the talk was, is how the media crucified him, 1 minute they have, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. There's a meaning to it. But clearly, these images in the video is just there to just shock the viewer now. But then, unfortunately, now this is where the where the video backfires to me. More people, it's like how you just keep asking yourself what makes this guy a big deal. You more studying about him and why he make this video and why these images are there and why he hang this child, as opposed to what the message of the video is. Now I'll get to the speech now in a bit, right?
Right.
Now I find this kind of disingenuous demeanor where, okay, you have a message, right? You're talking to the viewer, but yet you are reading the notes off your phone. Why didn't you just have some cue cards off screen and you just looking directly into the camera so you're talking to everyone? It's almost like, alright, I just talking to white people here, white supremacists here. I kind of don't want to watch you. I kind of don't want to watch your ad. So here's what, just listen to me. Listen to me read off from a phone. Because it's awkward when you look at it now. You just seen him, his eyes glued to the phone, and every once in a while, he would just look into the camera and just be like, okay, well, you get what's saying is about Emmett Till, right? Yeah? Okay, and then you just get back to what he's reading. And it sounds like he's reading, literally reading there, instead of just seeing this message now. And to me, that just, like, imagine that now. Imagine somebody's telling you some facts now, but the person's reading it off of their phone. How that gonna look like to you, Ricardo? Is that gonna look weird?
Yeah, no, but
it's not gonna look, it doesn't look genuine to me now.
To me, it have to have a ticket. To me, you need to have a ticket of entry now, and I still don't get what make this man we're talking about exactly though.
I agree, but
because it's a kind of circular reasoning now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because he did this thing, but why I care about this thing he did? Well, because he was doing this thing from before, and that's why he talk about this other thing. But it's like, no, you have a starting point. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's exactly the starting point for this man?
And what makes things even worse though? What makes things even worse though? I'll round things up around here. Is that this is his first music video, man. Like, we don't have anything to start you off with except this one song that you had on SoundCloud and you put it out and everybody loves. There's no starting point here. So here you come in like this revolutionary now, all of a sudden like, yes, I know more,
This guy is like the Paris Hilton of rap. He just famous to be famous apparently.
And like you had to stop now to tell us that yes, racism is wrong and all that kind of stuff. Like, bro, we know this shit. Come with a better argument. Come with some facts, shit. Don't just show shock value stuff for the sake of shock value. Like, what, you had to show a white kid getting hanged to tell me that yes, racism affects everyone, not just blacks. Come on, we know that, but present a better argument now. Like,
no, but we
go into facts.
It have so many other artists talking about more important shit and this stuff too. But again, nothing about the video that's shocking, and you still need to answer the question of what exactly is this guy claim to feel. You're right, and trust me, that's gonna affect them. Not until you address that,
Yeah, you're right.
People, and it have so many. Here's the thing: a lot of people talking about this man.
Yeah, like, but it's mostly like fans of him. It's just fans of the "Look at Me" video. Like, the fans. I'm not gonna call all of them stupid, but some of them just so dumb, right? They're not even gonna talk about, hey, you put out a video for one of my favorite songs, I stop it even before the first verse ends. I go, you hang a white kid. Okay, what the hell is that? You don't even do that. It's just like, oh my god, X is so smart. How he baited us and how he taught us all this stuff about racism and, you know, white supremacy and all that kind of stuff. He is so amazing. How? Why? The man just bait all your purpose, Jed, you know? Like, I get the whole team of, okay, well, you're smacking the teacher or the teacher that teaches all you what all they need to know about life. I get that. Okay, fine. But still, was there a need for it? Now, was there a need to do that for one thing? No. Both, if both songs are short, you could have the song as is and then jump into the riot afterwards, you know. Oh, and I forgot to mention the awkward editing in this. So, like, yes, look at me going good, and then just stops, and then the song starts, then just stops, and then the whole hanging scene, you're hearing like the ambience of like the air conditioning unit inside the room, and it gives it a kind of creepy vibe, but at the same time it's like real unprofessional. Like, yo, you're trying to build up to something, and we're hearing this humming in the background. Like, come on, that's sloppy. And then right down to the end where you just stay like talking, it's like, come on, this like real haphazard kind of editing and shooting, and like, come on, you really, come on. That's it. It's a debut video, man. Come on. But all in all, though, I mean, we could kind of talk and probably go nowhere about this, but to me, I felt that the video didn't really do anything to me. I felt that there was no need for it to be quote unquote shocking. I mean, you know, like, you're trying to set yourself up like one way. You know, the media portray you one way. Your fans look at you something else, and now you want to come off like this revolutionary and, oh, this is like the most intelligent video out there and it's gonna be so smart. Not really. It kind of just feels right, you know. I'm not saying it had to do with his rap sheet. Has nothing to do with that. I just think it's just his creative decision, you know, what he's trying to say and how he's trying to say it. That's all.
As I say, I'm still confused as to why, you know, why we're talking about this man so
yeah, much. Well, all I would just say though, in just inclusion, I think, you know, at the end of the day, I think that this thing will just blow over very quickly. People are gonna forget about this. People are gonna look back and be like, why we react to this, or why it is we praise this video so much? This is some weird. Who cares, bro?
Again, it's a lot of, well, for lack of a better term, witchcraft going on, in the sense that it's just shenanigans and just a fake controversy, just a totally ginned up controversy. But again, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
What exactly? Somebody need to answer this question before we move on, you know.
You know, but
talk about this man for,
we talk about it so long. We did, but it just real amazing, Dred, that you have to use this to get people to talk about you, Dred. You have to use this kind of method. Come on. That's all I have to say. So moving along, right?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Alright, so moving along, now we're finally gonna get to legit reviews now. So we're gonna start things off. Since we were talking about hip hop, we're gonna talk about a show that has probably one of the most awesome hip hop soundtracks I've heard in a TV show this year, hands down. Insecure, season 2.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is once again created by Issa Rae. And Larry,
co-created by a person I really like, Larry Wilmore.
Yeah, Larry Wilmore. What did he do again? I know you mentioned it last time, but
Larry Wilmore, mostly known for his general comedy writing throughout his career. Most recently, he did the nightly show, and that got cancelled. On Comedy Central. It was alright. I understand why it got cancelled, even though I still don't think it's a show that got a fair shake, frankly. But he himself is known for basically being behind the scenes with a lot of great black entertainment.
Right.
Did a show called a really controversial show called the PJs back in the day.
Why do you remember the PJs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fox.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Fox? No, I always assumed it was a CW show. Cause it used to show on CW, but I think it's Fox did create it. I can't remember, but I know it was a Eddie Murphy production, yada 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 thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, so with season 2, I'll just kind of run through just what it's about basically. Starts just a while from where the previous season ended, where Issa and Lawrence's relationship pretty much ended on a really bad note, with him basically leaving her and going off with this with one of his old girlfriends, you could say. So here now she just decides, you know what? Well, I just gotta, just adopt this, the modern way of dating now. I'm just gonna find random guys on Tinder and just play around with them and just see which one sticks to, So while that's going on, her friend Molly, still dealing with relationship stuff as well too. There's this one guy that she hooks up with who we learn is actually married though, so his wife actually encourages him to be more open with women. So there's this arc going on.
No, here's the thing with that,
and all that kind of stuff.
Here's the thing, you never actually hear her say that,
Right?
That?
Yeah.
He says that. They're working together, but she never talked to her about it, So that's gonna come up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So exactly. Like he's the one who's just always talking about it, but she's like, well, okay, well.
Yeah, exactly. She accepted it, but my point is that you never hear her say it. He say that, she say it, You just have it secondhand, So that bring it up a little red flag right there.
Yeah.
However,
also, Yilan Noel, who played Daniel King, he's this hip hop producer. He shows back up again, and him and Issa, who were together at a point in time, they do have this kind of on again, off again relationship. So basically, season 2 kind of just goes deeper into the whole world of dating and sex and relationships and all that kind of stuff. More emphasis on sex, by the way, I must say that. So it's just basically Issa and Molly, and to an extent Lawrence, kind of going back and forth, just kind of navigating their way through love and stuff like that. It's not really so much like how season 1 was, where it was more about them just trying to, find a part in life now, find a nice job, find a nice, companion and all that kind of stuff. Here's more about, who is my partner? Am I gonna stay true to this partner, or should I just go, cheat behind this person's back and all that kind of stuff?
Right.
And basically, in a nutshell, that's what season 2 is about. So, what were your thoughts on season 2? Just to start things off.
So the only thing I hated, again, Molly's arc, I absolutely hated this season.
I hated how it ended, but continue.
Not that it's done badly, but couple things. I just hated her bad decisions. In universe hate, not like it badly done. Because she has 2 good men in her life, and it's such a dumb cliche that they just decide to go with the dumb cliche, which is, well, she has 2 good men in her life, but she ignored them for this other thing that she's supposed to do at the end, and she's not supposed to embrace that, and I hated that. Because she had Celine K. Brown, I didn't know he was making a cameo in this season. I was like, good.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool.
Go mention him at the end. He just, after the wedding, or what is the second wedding, or whatever it is, what parents is going to do. After that, it ended. They never mentioned him for the whole season.
Yeah, that's true.
Hated that. Then, the kind of the tech boyfriend, who's the other lawyer now.
Right.
The tech boyfriend is the other lawyer. Again, he good for she, better for her than this dude. But whatever.
Yeah, but once again, and you're right though, because even in season 1, it is established that Molly, she kind of just don't know how to pick the right men though, To her, it's just always about sex, it's always about that feeling, and all that kind of stuff. But when as soon as that person kind of drops the ball, she the insecurity really comes up from inside, hence the title. We also do see with Issa, of course, right? But here of course it's just a commitment about is this guy the right guy for me? And then we learn just a little bit about her parents as well too. They went through infidelity. They had a little issue with infidelity years ago, and then she's hating that for the first time, and that just throws her off there, and then once again kind of makes her doubt if this person that she's with is the one for her, she should stay with him and all that kind of stuff. As for Issa, I thought that her character arc was decent. I like the fact that she got back with Daniel though, because I did like the chemistry between the two in the previous season. There was one moment that happens between the two of them, and I think that's like the hard R version moment, and how she reacts it though was just like, wait, really? What?
Issa Wap moment. Issa Wap. She becomes Issa Wap.
yeah. It's like, but this is one thing that I actually praise the show for. What I do find is interesting, and I'll relate this to music. It's our culture now, modern culture. how sex is looked at. On the one hand, it's like, well, it's part of empowerment. You this is your body. You choose to be who you want to be with, and I have control. You feel that you have control now, especially as a woman. But on the flip side now, as a man, and then especially with the hip-hop culture, it's always about, I have so much sexual prowess in bed and all that kind of stuff. So it's always about trying to prove yourself sexually to this person. But then, if you feel as if you can't do the job properly, then it's like, no wonder she didn't stick with you, So you always have to go out your way and be macho and all that kind of stuff. And I saw that through Daniel's arc, It felt like, even though he's not a rapper per se, he still has to kind of come off like, I'm the tough guy, that kind of thing. I'm buff and I could do this. So when that particular moment happens, it's like, this is kind of like what all black guys dream of, all men in general. But the outcome of it is like, wait, but you kind of asked for this though. So what going on? How you could say I disrespected you? I treated you like a slut because this happened by accident. We also saw that with Lawrence's character as well too. Him trying to be the I don't want to call him the nice guy, but being there for Issa, and how that turned out bad.
Lawrence has been a complete shitbag in my opinion for this season.
I would say that much. He just made real bad decisions. He will make bad decisions.
For me, fuck Lawrence. Seriously.
But you saw his character really change, get darker in the last couple episodes of season 1. There's like, hatred, like. Really all that cool neither you real quick to bash Issa for what she do now, but look at you there.
Absolutely hated what he did with the bank manager girl. That pissed me off. That was one.
Yeah, and look how that ended, by the way. Look how that ended. Yeah.
And that was pissing me off. Then he did the whole thing with it had a really funny sequence which was kind of dark on its own way, but it worked where he met these two white girls.
Yes. I was like, wow, it was funny. It was real sexy, by the way. But it was like, but how it ended was pretty funny. It was like,
but it was dark in its own way of he enjoyed himself, but not really. And he was right by the apartment right after.
Exactly.
Right. That was the overall this season. I thought this worked again. It was just kind of the whole bad decisions melting down, and I like that they address a couple of things in overall social commentary stuff. One of the big ones was they had this great subplot with. Issa, remember, she's working at the care center, and principal, who's black, was like more or less being outright racist against the Hispanic.
Yeah, he just didn't want Latino. He didn't want to help out Latinos for some reason. Every time they ask him, why, he just keeps laughing, like, or whatever.
Right. And as he's brushing it off, and it's implied that because they're Mexican, because they this, and they possibly because they're legal.
Yeah, immigrants and
he
that stuff.
He make a Trump joke and all of that stuff. So that bring up a whole headache now. And it split up Issa and Shifred. And then they had it blow back against Issa in the end when Issa decided to isolate the Hispanic students for the sake of that, and that could end up messing up Issa in the long run.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be a big deal, but apparently it is. So they made an issue that, so you could tell that was reasonably well researched. And then they started touching upon, which is probably going to be an issue next season, gentrification.
Yeah.
So they started talking about, people calling Inglewood Iwood, for example. And then they talk about little stores getting closed down over time. You're starting to see places getting replaced. They're going to have a whole plaza, little subversive stuff going on. And then her rent going up.
Yes. That's true.
That's a big thing too. I like that they addressed that. What else?
My boy, the blood neighbor, Dread, he shows back up again. He has a few great moments. Not too much though, but I felt I could have seen more from him.
Well, it was fine. It was a fine enough bit because they had a great joke at the end with him. With the with the auntie daughter, where you want.
Issa's friends show back up again. I don't want to call it I'll call it the bougie one. Yeah, the bougie one is back. We see her husband and this one, the fat one, she's back as well too. The really loud one, I really like her character too. What else though was but this was a decent season. I would say it's much more heavy on sex compared to the first season. Yeah, so not too much sex scenes, but there are quite a large amount in this one though, in particular. Like HBO really taking advantage here though, with the second season. The final episode in particular, I liked how it played out because you saw it from like 4 different, I think it's three different characters, which is Lawrence.
30 days of a character. So
30 days of a character. So Lawrence, Molly, and Issa. And I'll get to soundtrack here. The song that they play during the marathon scene, that is Tyler the Creator's Boredom, which is from his Flower Boy album, which I would say one time is one of my favorite albums of 2017. It will make it to the top 5. I'm calling it now. And I love how they use it there. And, you know, in particular, I love the soundtrack for this entire season. We hear a lot of West Coast artists. So we hear Vince Staples. I'm not sure if G.I.D., he's a new rapper in the scene. I'm not sure if he's from the West Coast, but I heard one of his songs. I heard one of my top 10 from last year, No Worries, which is Anderson .Paak and Knowledge, you know, Scared Money, that's the name of it. I love that song. And yeah, there's just so much great songs, great hip-hop songs throughout the entirety of this, you know, and I really felt that it added a lot to you know, to the tone, to the feel of, you know, not just the location of Los Angeles, but just, you know, just the life, you know, the life of these African American characters. I thought they worked perfectly. But I also like how they, you know, once again, how they touch on sexuality in today's world, and, you know, essentially like how today's music kind of hypes it up now, you know, where it's like the thing, you know, you have to do this, you have to have a girlfriend, you have to be sexually active, you have to do all these things because that's what the media portrays.
Because again, another thing that kind of pissed me off, again, women not picking the men that, well, again, for my audience, you know,
no, but well, let's be honest. Because we're men, we would say that, but you know, but women would be like, I could kind of. The women would understand this thing perfectly, but for us guys, it's like, why are they making all these dumb decisions, though?
Yeah, so Molly makes she choosing the wrong men, in my opinion, and then Issa too. Like she had the kind of, well, I'm not sure what race he was, or he's Hispanic, I think.
I think he was a Spanish guy. That one particular guy.
No, he's Spanish. He was Spanish, not Hispanic. He was Spanish, right?
Yes,
like, actually from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought that was something, and then she didn't want him because of because she wanted sex. I was like, you serious?
Yeah.
You fucking serious?
It's like, but you know, that's the thing though, and you know, it's easy for us to say, well, you know, why don't you just pick the nice guy? Like with Molly at the very end of the final episode, it's like, why did you pick him? He's nice.
Yeah, it's such a dumb cliche now.
You know?
That's my problem. It was such a dumb cliche. It's like, why? That didn't make any sense. And if from a character standpoint, it felt a little contrived, especially Molly's arc, because Molly get real angry when she find out she found out the cheat on she mother years ago. Like, you don't find this out apparently.
Right, okay. but you're still with this guy doing this when you know that, you know.
No, what I'm trying to say, but that set her off, and that's the reason why she was apparently making bad decisions in terms of settling down, because she kind of afraid of commitment. That's
that's the point. Yeah.
But it felt a little contrived. It's like, well, she's not more mature than that. Shouldn't she, like, not?
Yeah.
But the mother get over it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know apparently for years. And like, wait, how she didn't know for years? Because the siblings knew, and apparently the siblings knew casually. So what did that information all come out?
You know,
that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, but that's the one thing that I really do like about the show here. Especially with the second season here, is that these characters are still likable, they are still relatable, they are complex. So yes, they could go into, you know, your traditional cliches, and, you know, yes, Molly will get the nice guy in the end, and you know, Issa will hook up with Lawrence in the end because it's all about love, man. But it's not like that. That's not how the world works. But at the same time, you know, and it's not just because we're guys, but you know, we can look at it and be like, well, you know, you were bitching about this before, so why are you doing the same thing? You know, what, to fill a void inside of you? Why? You know, like, you're supposed to be smarter than that, man.
That's the thing. I find it didn't make much sense in terms of giving that character motivation. It just didn't. It felt a little, again, contrived to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Again, Lawrence had another subplot which I liked as well, which was he thought he'd get through with his proposal because he was talking about this thing he was doing from since season 1.
Yeah, this app that he wanted to do. Yeah.
Right. It just fell flat, and it made sense because so much time passed.
Right.
You know, you got ideas since thing, you're working on it since then. But the problem is that, you know, the tech, especially the tech world, has moved so fast that your idea that would be a kind of good idea just dated by now.
Yeah.
Because things building up and things that seem like a utility, you just have to catch it early now.
Right.
Catch it early. So even if it's a decent idea, then it wasn't interesting, and then them didn't tell him nothing. No.
Yeah, and how is his peers, his teammates, whoever, like was like kind of telling him, you know, like he wouldn't know their opinion. So like those two white guys, that was brutal. Like, way boy. Yeah, like, I can't believe y'all do that though. Like, serious?
Yeah, a lot of people die. It's like a big. It's really insidious. It's kind of the you know, the bigotry of small lower expectations. It's like, oh well, you know, we're playing this place, but we just telling you you're doing good, even though we're not telling you the truth, because it's a kind of, I don't know what to call it. I just call it not constructive criticism, but it's like the opposite.
That is far from constructive criticism.
Yeah, destructive. I don't know.
It's more like passive criticism.
Right.
You're not coming out and telling them what's wrong, but you want to keep it to yourself.
It's not criticism at all, because it's not even telling him anything wrong with it. You're not saying what's wrong.
Exactly.
It's destructive accreditation. I don't know what to call it. Compliments. It's a bad compliment now.
Yeah. I think compliments is the right word to use.
It's the exact opposite of constructive criticism.
You're right.
Constructive criticism is you're being firm and a little harsh, but you're at least the person you're giving them space to improve, to genuinely improve. This is the exact opposite. You're being nice to them all the time, and you're not telling them what's genuinely wrong, and you're just telling them it'll be okay, which is like actually really bad advice and bad, like kind of destructive in my opinion, bad to them. Yeah. They did that really well. I thought that was clever and well done. And then he had a little girlfriend on the side, which the birthday party, that was brutal.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That was brutal. And then the ending finale with Issa do this little imaginary, she's going to little imaginary worlds, but this one is just goddamn heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal too.
I want, on the subject of the whole going into her own world, I like how they do more of those mirror scenes where she doing like these little, these little, more like little freestyles, because there was more rapping there instead of just her talking, monologuing. I thought it was really cool as well. No, so it continues from the whole broken pussy arc from first season. Yeah. Overall, I would say that this was like a slight improvement over the first one. Like, this one actually gets a little bit more heavy in terms of sex and sexuality there. So you're getting a lot more sex, a little bit more sex scenes, ladies. So yeah, more shots of guys' asses if you like that kind of stuff. Women, you'll like that. I know it's brave for a show like this to tackle that, especially in today's world, especially with African American women and stuff like that. But character motivations and bad decisions aside, I still do love these characters. Well, most of them actually. I know you hate Lawrence. It's like, all right, I kind of rooted for you, Lawrence. You're kind of coming off like the underdog, but still, I don't know. Yeah. Especially like what he did with that team, bank teller lady.
Yes, that pissed me off, Joe.
Yeah, boy, like, fuck you, bruh. Come on, come on, man.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah. But this clearly is for women. Women will love. But there's still enough for guys, like us to watch and be like, all right, yes, this is true. I understand this. I can relate to this somehow.
Right, once you do it mature, once you have mature writing, you make it work. And I'll say it's much better made than season 1. Season 1 was a little rough around the edges, in terms of editing and how it used to pace all the episodes and whatever.
You're right.
They get everything right with the pacing and how episodes should be constructed. They really feel, from a production standpoint, it hit its full stride. Mm-hmm. But some of the character motivations had me a little off. But it still made sense. It wasn't like something that totally out of left field and was real retarded or anything like that.
You're right.
But it's still like, really?
I know.
Especially Molly's are.
Yeah. And I still love the dialogue. I still love how well written it is, how real it is. Yeah, it does feel like real characters, and that's why you buy into them. That's why you care for them, even though they do make bad decisions. Most times you still do care for these characters. Yeah.
Right.
So for me, well, what's your rating?
Right.
Okay. Well, for me, I would give this a strong 3.5 out of 5 stars. Right. Definitely give this one a look. Of course, rewatch, or if you haven't seen season 1, watch it. Or if you have seen it, I would recommend rewatching it, because there are certain themes from season 1 that do carry over well enough in season 2. And if you enjoy the first one, then you're gonna have a blast with this one here.
For me, this one, I get this one actually 8 out of 10, pretty high. I'd still slightly prefer season 1 over this, because it just worked from a human standpoint better, and it's just mostly because it catch you off guard in terms of how the world building was. Now I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah.
That's why season 1 worked much more for me. But since I kind of acclimated to the situation, I like, alright, cool. We'll make it work.
Right.
And this one again, mostly because some certain character motivations throw off a little bit. Not that much. They should have resolved a couple things better. Still get 8 out of 10. Still really good. This is excellent season 2. And Issa Rae blowing up now. He had a cover girl, so congrats. Well done.
Yeah, congrats. I saw some pics of her looking fine as ever, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So she have a future.
Yes, she does. So looking forward to season 3 next year.
Yes.
So hopefully all these Game of Thrones fans will be like, oh wait, there's a show called Insecure. What? Right. I should watch this now. Okay.
Yeah.
You know. So moving along from Insecure to BoJack Horseman season 4.
Yeah.
So, you just want to fill us in on what season 4 BoJack Horseman is about?
Right. So, BoJack is probably kind of recovering from his lowest point, with his best friend dying from an overdose.
Yes.
From season 3. He kind of goes off the farm, or where it is, off the range. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, going off the range if you're using off the farm or whatever. You have to just to carry the animal/horse analogy a little further.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of just went off grid essentially. Then so a bunch of weird shit going on. Mr. Peanut Butter going off for politics.
Yeah, and just so random how he get into it, by the way, because it's Mr. Peanut Butter. He's just so ridiculously naive. So it's like, right. Yeah.
And then they basically just doing a great arc with there's a bunch of shit going on. Then they introduce a new female character who's related to BoJack. You think it's his daughter.
Yeah.
Good to think it's his daughter, and you're meeting BoJack. And then they just run through the arc for it. That's it. They have to see this right. And then they get into some. It's not so much about BoJack, but just the genetic origins of BoJack.
Yeah, why is he so messed up? Why is he so narcissistic? And
they cover that really, really well in this season.
Yes, they did. Right.
And then they just cover general bad decision making. They cover some scenarios about why shit could go to hell in terms of, dumb people taking over from smart people, and you know why.
Yeah. Just to mention as well too, we do get. Well, the relationship between Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter is explored further,
Yeah.
I actually like what they did here, because at that point I was telling myself, okay, how long is she gonna put up with this guy shit, with this dog shit? Literally.
Yeah.
There's also this little subplot with Princess Carolyn, her trying to get back into the game, and essentially she gets this project literally handed to her. So it's like, well, okay, I need BoJack back, but where is he? And now she's trying to persuade him to be involved in this project. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everything, like, in terms of the darkness of the show, it's not as dark as the last couple of seasons.
I agree. And to me, that's not a bad thing. But it had a couple moments that get pretty goddamn dark, in my opinion. The Princess Carolyn episode of Flash into the Future. Yeah.
Pretty damn dark.
It was.
BoJack's mom. Holy shit.
Yeah, when we learn about her, because at first it's like, alright, she's just your generic annoying, elderly mother. But then when you get that backstory, when you learn about it, it's like, well, that makes sense. That is why BoJack is so messed up. It's that cycle, And it goes even beyond that. You see her parents, I like how they introduce the parents early on into the season.
Right.
In those really creative flashbacks, flash forwards. I thought that was done very, very, very well, though.
Right. And then they did again backstory, and then they did and they learn who the person in BoJack's life came in, how important she is and who she is.
Yeah.
When you learn about BoJack's mom. And
and in quite a nice way, she did impact BoJack's life for the better. This is one thing I really, really loved about this one season.
This one felt like a healing season, not outright redemption, but step into the light.
Yes.
It's not as bad, as you have to use the old Dark Knight line. It's darkest before the dawn stuff, right?
Yeah. And I felt it worked here. I felt it was earned. Like, there was no need for BoJack's life to go so deeper into the abyss. From what happened last season. There was no other way to go but up.
I was actually surprised, because I really thought he was going to go really dark with it now.
Yeah.
Because remember you saw those horses running, I thought he was going to join those guys or something.
Yeah, but he doesn't. That's all he'll say. He doesn't.
And they just they stop it and it started back and we follow a workable narrative. By the way, this season is probably one of the funniest seasons in my opinion, because they have a lot of great dialogue.
Oh boy, they do. Yeah, they do.
There's little dumb jokes, dumb side plot jokes. Like if you look up and you could do a little research. Like remember, what's the character's name? Boy, Todd.
Right.
Todd has an arc, and it's if you follow what's going on, it's an AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD, EEE, FFF. It's little shit like that now.
Yeah.
Or like Princess Carolyn have little dumb lines, like her just saying these long running sentences of alliteration.
Right.
It's really
yes. No, why? Because there's this one actress, right?
Boy toy.
Yeah, it's some Courtney something. I can't remember her name. Yeah, right. So it's like they try to find the right the right movie for her. So they all kind of rhyming with her main name. That was cool.
What it reminded me of is like old tabloids. So I used to do
or like news reports, like oh gosh, like the Star, those kind of magazines, like those kind of things.
Right, they used to like have rhyming headlines now. So
yes,
Michael Jackson's a classic example. You know, Jacko goes wacko. You know, so and so. And stuff like that.
Courtney Portnoy. That's a name.
Courtney Portnoy, right? That she has a hoi polloi boy.
And I love
boy toy.
Yeah, I love the arc that they do with. Well, I would spoil it, but it does involve Todd. Once again played by Aaron Paul. I love the mistaken movie that she was in, and how because of school shootings, just shootings all over the country, they had to kind of chop up the film basically.
They had a joke. Oh my god, they do a pumped up kicks joke, Dread. That catch him off guard. I like, are this seriousness? Because I don't know, like anybody. That song was real popular a few years back. Pumped up kicks.
Right.
And the whole song is about a school shooting. So he was like, he just pumped up kicks, and he said, well, he had to sell sneakers. And like,
yes, I remember that part.
That ain't fucking serious, though. That was funny as hell, though.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Is those moments where you had to kind of pause and see what's going on, though? That was always part of the humor.
I just shaking my head and cracking up because of how so goddamn dumb that joke is.
Yeah.
But it worked. And then another great cameo is Andrew Burrow from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
He plays the governor, I think.
He was the governor. Okay. I knew that voice from somewhere. I love that with that one sequence, the underground episode.
Yes.
I love that episode.
Love that episode.
That was so goddamn funny.
Jessica Biel and Zach Braff's bit is so goddamn funny.
Yeah, Jessica Biel for governor though. Let's worship fire. Fire is our god now.
Yeah. and then Peanut Butter's ex-wife. Well, it's both ex-wives actually, but the other ex-wife, the real brutal one though.
Yes.
She the real cold one. She was brutal too. She had some real goddamn like real snappy lines too. She had what is your future difficult Jeopardy question?
Oh yes. I think it was in episode 1 or somewhere during the rally or something like that. But one thing that I like though on the subject of Peanut Butter though, not just how awkwardly he ended up in this race against the governor to become governor here, but it's how Diane kind of treated it now, how she had to kind of deal with it. So, it just kind of, I wouldn't spoil how it ends though, but I was always kind of wondered, like, how she could put up with this guy's naivety, his ridiculousness.
That's the thing with Peanut Butter. He's a character who, he's not as dumb as you make it out to be but he's a character who fails upward. That's the thing with him, and because he's emblematic of the moral hazard of Hollywood, in my opinion. He's a person that just showed, like, he's a perfect example of everything wrong with the system. Yeah. He's the embodiment of that because he constantly fails upwards, constantly, and nothing ever really goes wrong for him personally, like almost never. He does nice, and he happens to be charismatic, and he don't see all the bullshit going on around him. It doesn't matter. Kind of doesn't matter because none of it ever affects him. He just could be happy-go-lucky, and shit could work for him. While Bojack is the exact opposite now, where he constantly self-aware of things going on, constantly aware of the shit that could go wrong with people, and everything that's sinking to the lowest lows now.
Yeah.
But they keep doing our contract from since season 1, right? That is a great contrast. Now this time it kind of flipped, where now Peanut Butter and Diane kind of on the rocks now. There's a trouble where they get stuck in between Hawaii, which is a hilarious bit on its own.
Oh yes, it is.
The highway to Hawaii, so goddamn stupid, but it makes perfect sense that at least within the thematic context of the show.
Of course, because because we live in that world is Holly Who, right?
But I think when if you like the actual like government situation of California, dumb bullshit like that could happen. Not something as practical of extreme like that, but you have a set of scenarios where things just because of the nature of the government shift and how people who in charge engage in shenanigans undermining the process now, so they kind of undermine the system because of the shit now. Like Peanut Butter ex-wife, she's like the worst because she constantly stoking fire in the worst way now. Yeah, and that is what make it work. It's like they just do the whole moral failings of the system in that way now. And they were like kind of emblematic of Trump a little bit, you know, the whole just believe the charismatic guy over the intelligent person, even though the intelligent person fail or have a lot of big moral failings. They actually prefer this guy over them, and the people will just make the choice no matter what now. That is the whole point. They cover that, I think, especially Brancho Brower's character. Brancho Brower is a douchebag. He's a person that they don't like him, but sometimes he had to be the villain. Are you? Do you have to be the villain? Are you saying you are a villain? That kind of thing. That. Funny person because of emotions over logic. They made that work perfect in this season. That whole failure of reason to address emotions properly now. And you know how the disaster could go on from there. I love that whole thing. They made that work.
Before, well, you know, we forget the main man, or I should say the main horse, Bojack Horseman. Will Arnett once again shines as Bojack. I loved his character arc here. I loved how kind of self-aware he is now. There's even this these few sequences where it seems like, you know, this kind of hand-drawn kind of animation style. So it's like, you're a piece of shit.
Like
you should do this. Oh yeah.
Right.
I should kill my mom. You're a piece of shit. You know, I like those moments. Those were great.
Then they did, again, well, we had to talk about Bojack's mom. So they do 2 episodes kind of about Bojack's mom. You get to see Bojack's grandmother. What happened to her, which is pretty goddamn disturbing.
Oh,
and they had a line that was funny, but really dark at the same time. She, I have half a mind. Like, oh, fuck. And she just stopped. Like, I have half a mind. And then she just stopped the line. It's like, oh, shit, that real bad, though.
Yeah. No, but that's the arc with that grandmother, and then, you know, how the mother was affected, that kind of thing,
Yeah, they do it awkward with Bojack's mom being young.
And the grandfather though, oh my god, boy. Like Jesus way.
Then they make the narrative of Bojack's mother growing up and her life playing out with Bojack. And why she get bitter over time, how she was really nice and idyllic.
And it's you know, the relationship between Bojack's mom and dad's had was so nice, But then later on, but it's like it feels like real now, like logical. Like of course they had to turn out like that.
Yeah, no, they get into the psychology of motherhood really, really well. Like how motherhood could get pathological really fast.
And the argument that they were having, it's real, you know. It is exactly how that relationship would have played out. I love that.
And but they made that working out in its own way. And then you find out her demons, what happened to her mother, and then you find out, oh shit, what's going on with Bojack, and she keep mentioning a woman's name the entire time. You see how relevant that was later. Nice.
You
make that work. And then the ending, I was like, nah boy, Bojack, you can't do this, Dread. Because when you find out what Bojack's mom did to, well, the character, we found out what going on with that. And you're not sure who was involved and why the character gets sick. She could have died. It's a possibility. And Bojack was going to do something to his mother. And then you find out, well, the mother went through. And it's like, nah boy, Bojack, you can't. I mean, the mother's shitty, but she don't deserve that. I was really, that's when the show hit the tilt for me this season. It was really, really powerful. Totally. And then the finale was nice, and it had a nice
good. Well, I was about to say same thing too. It ended on a light note, and I love that. It was like, you know, compared to last season, which was just so heavy. This one was like, there is hope for our hero, you know, for our favorite horse. So but you know, for me, I don't know if we're gonna get I know we're gonna get a next season, but I don't know if that's the last one. But I think that this should end at the 5th one, at the last season here.
It's a show that kind of had a wrap up. I can't see it going on again. The nature of the show is like, it's too much.
Exactly. It might end on a happy note, but it has to end at some point in time. So I'm just hoping that, you know, it does turn out to be memorable. Because he is probably one of the most captivating characters I've seen on TV in a long while.
Yeah, for me, this show it's surprising how good the show got. I mean, season 2 in particular was like goddamn amazing for me.
Yeah, it was.
But I didn't expect this to get so good. And well, this season, as I say, this season didn't surprise me as much. But it's mostly because I know what to expect walking in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good. It's still really, really well done. Still funny. Still a lot of great lines.
Of course, I know of the self-referential humor always lands, always works for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get this one. I'll get this one an 8 out of 10 as well. Not as good as season 2. Season 2 is still the apex of the series for me. About as good as season 3, but for different reasons. And I really enjoyed this one. And yeah, about the same score.
All right. My own is the same as well. I give this a light 4 to 5 stars. Not as emotionally heavy as the last season, but it still has its great moments, and of course the humor is always on point. For the majority of the show, I should say. But yeah, the characters are still well fleshed out. It's still this bizarre loony world, but it has these characters that you can't help but feel sorry for, like, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you loved Bojack Horseman so far, give this one a look. If you haven't checked it out, by all means give it a look though, but just prepare to have some, I don't know, tissue nearby, because this is going to play with your emotions quite a lot. Yeah. Alright, so in closing, now we're gonna get to our first and only movie review, and it's for a movie that I was excited about ever since I heard the announcement that they were actually gonna make this.
Right. I was hyped for this for myself from the first trailer. When I saw that first trailer, I was like, alright, this looking pretty good.
Yes.
And yeah, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna using the word "it" as a pun, because it's gonna be a clunker of puns.
Yes.
So it's just gonna be puns and puns and puns because of the word "it." And I'm gonna say "it" and "it." It's "it" the proper noun or "it" the noun? What? And as I say, it's gonna be a clunker. We're gonna be down to clown with these puns. And going downtown to clown. Okay, enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay, if I forget, you gonna keep it. You gotta keep this whole pun thing in mind. Anyway,
it's not that funny.
No, it's not.
It's not that funny. Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, so as I say, it's gonna be a recursive Matryoshka loop of puns down the line. But yeah, how you thought this movie was?
All right. So before we jump into the movie, you have to talk about the movie that started all. And I actually did a video review of it. I'll put a link for it below here. I did it for my Was It Seen series, where I talked about the 1990 miniseries It. But before we get to that, there was the 1986 novel of the same name, which here's the thing, like, I would confess something. I've never read a Stephen King novel.
The only thing I know about that movie is there's a really weird child orgy in it, because the main.
You mean the book?
In the book, yeah. They have an orgy, and because they have an orgy because they had to solve, because being a virgin was important to the causality of this world apparently. So they had to stop being virgin. So
I heard some that weird shit about that. I didn't know the full details, but okay.
So that's right. And then the book explains the overarching universe of Stephen King's, I don't know, multiverse, megaverse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, which the Dark Tower tried to touch on.
Because from what I understand, I think either all of his books or most of his books are essentially connected. From what I understand, so if the Dark Tower is connected to it, that means it is connected to what do you call it, with the Dreamcatcher, I think.
I forgot about Dreamcatcher the first, but I didn't care for that movie. The Shining is connected as well. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Shining, the Mist, all of it is just
the Mist. Yes, definitely the Mist.
Mist, you're right. So it's just this universe of evil monsters, like a dark dimension, essentially. I don't know the actual words. I don't remember. Apparently, there's a giant space turtle. Yes, that's a thing.
Gamera.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just this big world of good versus light, and everything is multiverse this and multiverse that and megaverse this, whatever.
Yeah. And of course, because with the amount of books that man is has written, yeah, he had to connect them somehow, right? It kind of makes sense.
It was the 80s, so his co-author was drugs.
Yes.
And he the world building, if you care about it, is kind of decent in its own way, even though a lot of it is like cosmic dumbness. But a lot of it is kind of borderline Lovecraftian cosmic stuff.
Right.
And a lot of it works. So the idea is that humans can never really perceive this properly. And well, it is one of those. It is a monster that is, you're not sure what it is.
Exactly. Hence why it's called it.
Right, but the idea is that it's a creature that beyond time and space, and he's stuck on Earth, and that's why he's doing what he's doing, because he could only survive with this, that, or the other, whatever it is. He has his own motivations. The book explains it in full detail. I never read the book, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, like I said before, I have never read a Stephen King book. Not because I never wanted to, it's just, time and just, at the time I just didn't care to read his stuff. I just more stuck with the movies, and they were kind of hit or miss for me. They were your classic adaptations, like The Shining. I think is the best horror movie ever made, in my honest opinion. Of course, there was Shawshank Redemption, one of the best movies ever made. And then, of course, you have like Carrie and Misery and all that kind of stuff. But then you had the so-sos. Like I find the Mist story is a so-so. Like I don't hate it. I still hate the ending. And then there were the misses, the ones that I just didn't care for. Dreamcatcher was one I didn't care for.
Right.
Tinner was one I didn't care for. Maximum Overdrive I didn't care for. Yeah, he did Tinner, right? And there was like Sleepwalkers. The only thing I remember from Sleepwalkers was the theme that the Fugees used for Ready or Not. That's the only thing I remember from Sleepwalkers. Anything further than that I don't care for.
Quick question: Langoliers was a Stephen King story?
Yes, it was.
Which is a movie I love to hate, but it's so dumb.
Okay, I didn't see the Tommy Knockers. I saw bits of Salem's Lot actually, but never saw the whole thing. But 1990s It though, the miniseries which I covered. I was fated though, like I agree it's a product of its time. It does not hold up as much as all that. I was more like, it's really because they care about the characters, which is why I kind of, watch the film out, and I wouldn't say that I hate the show. And of course, Tim Curry kills it as Pennywise. He is awesome in that. Right. But still, it's hard to watch this movie and then think, back in the days when I was young, this movie scared me. And yes, I was one of the many people who was scared of that one scene with it in the sewer, talking to Georgie. Like, that was like the one moment that just scared me. I never watched the movie. And then when I watched it recently, I was like, I was scared of this? Really? This was scary? Right. What?
But that was the only workable scene it had for me. Everything else I just don't remember liking that show all that much. I remember it being, really being hyped. Like,
it's like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's not.
And as a kid, especially in Trinidad, all my friends were like, boy, it's coming out tonight. I can't stay up till 11 or whatever it is to go and
I avoided that show so much.
AVM.
Yeah, AVM showed it. Yes, I'm glad you remember that. I avoided that shit. No, I just saw that one shot of it in the show. I was like, nope. No.
No, but I was like, all right, well, let me see it. No, here's the thing. I'm not a big horror person, because for me, by then, my skeptic brain started kicking in at that point. So, like, for me, it's like, well, how come they don't do this, and why does they avoid that, and how they don't call this person? And remember, the whole point of it and most horror movies is that it's kind of a dream logic almost. It's just an implied or contrived helplessness that sets up, instead of like just doing something to solve the problem. And so, but the thing is, it had other horror movies that I liked that was better than that. So I remember seeing for the first time, before seeing that for the first time, I remember seeing Poltergeist. A couple months before, and I love Poltergeist. Pretty solid horror movie.
Yes, it is. Directed by the late great Toby Hooper, by the way. Right,
yeah. One of the things with Poltergeist that really freaked me out was the part with the house folded in.
Yes. That scene was great.
Anyway, but so when I saw it at the end, I was like, yeah, this is real nonsense. I hated it. I was like, this is not that scary. It only have one scene that was kind of scary. That was the sewer scene.
Yeah.
That was it.
Now, don't get me wrong, I really, really, really liked Tim Curry in this movie, but he was just so goddamn funny, Jed. I'm sorry. Just because he was playing the clown angle real hard there, so he just goes over the top of it, the that kind of thing. Yeah. I just laugh at this guy there. So I think that the effect that they were going for, that clouds are scary and balloons are scary, so we have to show this in this TV PG kind of angle there, I think does not hold up as much as all that, unfortunately, though. I think it's just an issue with just adapting something like, a book as long as it, because even Stephen King himself was like, well, I mean, he wasn't blown away by it, but he was impressed by he actually was impressed by the effort that they put into it, because I imagine adapting something like this would be really hard, which, now jumping into the 2017 film, is why I love the decision made here to split the whole story into two movies and not do the whole flashback thing that a lot of people hated in the miniseries, but actually give the movie its own story. So
Yeah.
in this one here, chapter 1 as it's called, slight spoiler here, we get to see the beginning of the story. So we get to see the kids, the losers club as kids, and then in the next one, which hopefully we will get in the next couple of years, I keep my fingers crossed, we'll see them as adults.
Right, yeah. Right. We're not sure. I'm too clear on what's going on with the casting. But yeah, for me, the original, it wasn't that good. Didn't really work.
It's one of those shows I let slide because of the time, right. The year came out, all that jazz.
Big stupid stop motion spider at the end didn't work either.
Oh gosh, that was painful to watch.
Yeah,
actually.
It was kind of one of those, sorry, it's a lot of books that we call, it kind of puts itself in the unfilmable category. So it translated really poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with this new, I again, do really not a big horror person, right? Again, because the problem with horror movies is that you need dream logic for it to work, right? Characters don't seem to solve problems the way they should be solving problems.
Okay.
So this one worked in a good way. Like they had some nice sequences. The only problem I had with this was it was a little too jump scary at times.
Yeah, but that's the thing with today's horror movies. So I'll talk about that when I share my thoughts on this film here.
Right, and the issue is that my problem with a lot of this film as well is that it just didn't pace as good as I wanted it to. So they did the Stand By Me stuff, and then they got into the second half, which I thought would have picked up, but it just kind of was a little silly. And it didn't focus on what made the first it work, which was, the first it had, to me, one thing that did work was the whole imagination thing and the no fear stuff.
Right.
You got this, it was kind of like Freddy Krueger, right? That's what they kind of did with this one.
It
was kind of like that as well, because it was meant to be like a hodgepodge of like horror stuff originally, if I remember correctly. So that's why it had the Wolfman and the Mummy and whatnot in it. And you saw that in this film. But I thought they would have focused more on the whole imagination and fear thing. So you see how they could have used this imaginary thing to fight it. They didn't really do that. They only had one part with it.
Right.
With the cattle gun. That was about it. Because he didn't have the cattle gun armed, but it still worked.
Right.
Because his intention was to shoot him. But that didn't come across particularly clearly to me. Another thing that was kind of off for me is like I didn't really follow why it is that at least in the setup, the logic in this world, why it is that the parents couldn't see what was going on. I couldn't follow that. Because
okay. Good point. I'll talk about that as well too.
Yeah, the whole quest, like they had the whole scene with the blood. All of them could see the blood. Father didn't see the blood. Like, why? They didn't explain that or set that up properly. Now I know from the original why that is the case. And in the books explain all of that.
Right.
But the movie didn't really convey that very well, in my opinion. At least I didn't notice it.
No. Well, they didn't, right? But yeah. Let me just run through the premise quickly. So, in case you weren't familiar with the old film or the miniseries, this story pretty much centers on 7 kids. It's during the summer of 1988. So, unlike the original film, the original book, which I believe was set in the mid to late 50s, I think it is. I haven't read the book, but in the movie, the miniseries, is set in 1960. Right. So this one is in 1988 because the idea is that it, or Pennywise the dancing clown as he's termed here, shows up every 27 years, which is cool because now that the next movie will take place in the 2010s, which is great, which makes sense though, because look at the miniseries itself. Part 2, set in 1990. So, you have to update it. You can't do the 90s thing now. It won't make sense. It'll just be too much to do. But anyway, so it centers on these 7 kids. Each one of them is has their own personal demons to deal with. What is, being victim to bullying or, child abuse, Well, child abuse in the sense of what's being implied. We don't really see it, but it's implied that there's some stuff going on there. Also, overprotectiveness from parents and all that kind of stuff. We see that. And these 7 kids basically form this friendship. It's like they kind of like kind of run into each other. So there's like about 4 of them already friends. They run into this girl Beverly. She's going through some issues as well. They meet this black kid, and they also meet the new kid on the block. And yes, they do make fun of that boy band, New Kids on the Block, the fat kid. And they all formed this bond during the summer of 1989. Sorry. Well, 88 is where the story begins, and this is where Bill, right, so his character is introduced. He's the guy who stutters. If you remember him from the old film, he was that guy who had the stuttering problem. His brother Georgie is the one that we know is the one who gets
killed in the beginning.
Killed in the beginning. And how they do the scene here compared to the original is so much well done. So much visceral, by the way, and the way how it played out in the end of that particular sequence, I didn't see coming. I thought it was just gonna be, grab and then pull down, like you see in other horror films. But they do something a little bit more clever with it, and I love that. So Bill is still burdened with the fact that he wasn't able to save his brother, because he always kind of try to be there for his little brother there. So even his dad is still burdened by the fact that he couldn't save his son. So while he's having all these emotions, he does form friendships with a couple other guys around in this particular town. It's in Derry, Maine. I forgot to mention that. So they meet the girl, they meet the fat kid, they meet the black boy, the black kid, sorry. They basically have this bond, but all of them also are being burdened by this mysterious kind of demonic looking entity called Pennywise the Dancing Clown. And for what we know is that it's just this entity that just assumes the form of this old clown that apparently just used to scare people back in the days, or scare kids, because yes, this creature essentially is preying on the fears of kids, because it's just kids are scared of a lot of things there. And then even worse stuff, when they try to talk to the parents or adults about it, the adults themselves always kind of turn away from them. So these 7 characters have to deal with this demonic presence basically attacking them and assaulting them in many different very creepy, very ingenious ways. And essentially this is what this movie is about. But later on in the sequel, which like I said, I hope we get to see next couple of years, we see these characters grow up to be adults, and yes, they are being burned by this creature, because like I said, every 27 years this creature resurfaces. So it's like them having to go back to Derry now to deal with this problem once again. So right off the bat, yes, this is way better than the original one. It has to be. There was a lot living up to it, especially with the casting of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I thought that he nailed the creepiness of Pennywise perfectly. Like, yes, Tim Curry had the humor, the over-the-top, laughter and stuff like that, but Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, he was just so freaky, so goddamn creepy in this one here. Just that opening shot of him in the sewer talking to Georgie, like, a lot of people are taking notice of his eyes and how weird they look. I was just looking at the guy's teeth, boy. The guy's smile, the way how he talk is like, "Hello, Georgie, I've got a balloon here for you." It's just so, it borders on pedophilic at the same time, but it's just so creepy. And I thought that, he nailed that perfectly. And we do get some great moments from him, where you think he's here but he's across. So, and it's how he manifests himself though. And I also like this particular moment where like he contorts his body, sorry. Like, I didn't expect that though, like how he really utilizes the creepy factor of how this character looks there. It's not just on the face, but it's how the body moves. There's even this one shot where it seems like the head is stable while everything else, like his body, is dancing. And it almost seems like this is kind of warp stabilizer effect going on. So like his body seems to be moving on its own, but the head is just stuck in one place. I thought that was like a great moment in terms of visual effects. The visual effects I felt in this film were well done. There's not too much of it though, but when it's there, it's used very well. I also love the fact, but this is one thing that made it really stand out a lot, is that a majority of the scares take place during the daytime, you know, so you do get to see it or Pennywise do a lot of scary, creepy shit in daytime, and I thought that was well done. The performances by the kids, though, you know, I know we could argue and say, well, you know, it's child actors, so you know they're not gonna be Oscar worthy, but I felt for the most part, I thought that they did a great job, you know, conveying these characters. I also love the depth that was given to these characters as well. Now you could argue that, you know, one or two characters don't get as much, you know, character depth as others, and I'll blame that in terms of just the pacing in this film, because yeah, this film clocks in for like about 2 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, but because you're trying to tell all these different stories, all these different character arcs and all that kind of stuff, I did feel at times that a couple of characters were kind of just pushed to the wayside, you know, like they were introduced well enough in the first act, but I felt like somewhere in the second act you didn't really see too much of them. And then it's like in the third act, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot you part of the group now. Okay, right, cool, whatever. The adults themselves, the few that we do see, they do add to the whole creepy factor of it, because yes, they have to play oblivious to what it is doing, and I thought that was cool. Now, I do agree with you, Ricardo, where, you know, they could have explained why the adults themselves were oblivious in the first place, because they did see it in part 2 of the miniseries. They did hint at, well, this is one scene as to why the adults didn't do anything to help these kids out there. But, you know, there's this one scene early on in the beginning where it's like, well, yeah, you're aware of the stuff going on, or they're not aware. I don't know, you know, it's kind of weird. What else? Pennywise's skill set was kind of weird as well, because yes, he is capable of doing a lot of things, but you know, because you're trying to build tension, you want to build the whole creepy factor of the movie, there's certain visual cues in the film there, and you kind of wonder what it does. So it's responsible for this, but how? You know, if it is across there where he's hiding in his old decrepit home, so how is he able to manipulate this TV, for example, and have this show and have these characters talk about kill them all? You know, it's really weird. It's almost like he has a spell over this entire town. But once again, you know, like you said, maybe they should have explained that a little bit more. Maybe they might do it in the sequel, who knows? But you know, here I'll let it slide, because you know, it's trying to build this whole creepy vibe there. But still, you know, I guess for like people like us who want I wouldn't say we want to be spoon-fed all the information, you know, we want things to stay mysterious, but at the same time, when certain things happen, it's like, well, okay, how is this happening exactly, you know? I don't know if you agree with me, but, you know, that's my thoughts on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, this works a lot, in terms of, again, just well made, well done. I had a problem with the jump scares, a little too many jump scares in it.
Yeah, I'll talk about jump scares in a bit.
Right, but it worked for the most part. The story and the arc work, and it kind of just leave as a story on its own. But then we know it's part 1 and they have to do the part 2. We'll see what they'll do with that. I'm not sure what they're going to go with, because it's like, wait, they had to make it now? Alright, we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to cast, whatever.
Yeah, well, we all know that Bill Skarsgård is going to remain, because yeah, just off of his performance alone, he is a horror icon right now. So yeah, imagine the next couple of weeks, you know, leading up to Halloween, real people are going to be coming in dressing up as Pennywise, you know, with the face paint and all that stuff. The jump scares, I do agree with you. There is a little too much of those, and they do border on generic. And this is coming from somebody who saw Annabelle Creation a few weeks ago.
Okay.
You know, because it's a modern horror, it's a 2017 horror. So yes, we have to have the moments of silence and then the jump scares hit. But one thing I do give credit, we'll have to give the film credit for, is how they use the jump scares. It's not like your basic generic stuff where the scare happens and, you know, the music shoots up just like that. You do get like a little bit, like a little cue. You know, like somebody might say something, you might hear something move, and then the jump scare hits. And then they just kind of build on it a little bit more, or they just kind of cut it right there. I like how they do that. It wasn't just like big burst of music and jump scare, you know, and I'm supposed to be scared of that. You know, they built these scares up quite well, I find. But yeah, I do agree with you. There is over reliance, I should say, on jump scares. But you know, because once again, because of the modern horror, you know, you kind of had to let it slide there, but still, you know, I did like how they used it creatively though, you know. It wasn't, and then sometimes though, and this is what caught me off guard, you know, sometimes these scares do happen. It's not like, you know, a big, you know, set of music that just shows up or just pops up just so. You know, they do work in some very great scares here. I really have to praise the filmmakers for that. So, you know, it's a breath of fresh air for me, having seen quite a couple of horrors this year, which, you know, and then horrors in general, which always have to rely on the jump scare technique, which, you know, both of us could agree is just really, really played out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
You find so a little bit. I find it's just too played out. But then again, it depends on the subgenre. So because this is like a haunted house kind of ghost story, demon thing, you know, dream, nightmare kind of stuff, you know, I expected that, right? The bullies in the film, because, you know, kids and all that kind of stuff, so we had to do the whole standby meeting. We have to have the bullies. I thought that the bullies here, of course, were way more menacing than what we saw in the miniseries. They did feel very one-dimensional at times, though, you know, because it's all like, you know, the whole Dazed and Confused vibe. That like, okay, it's summer, so all we just gonna do is just drive around a car, look for kids, and just torment them. That's all we do, you know. Yeah. But there was this moment when they touched on one of the bullies. His name is Henry. I thought that moment was great as well. It came in a little too late, in my opinion, though. Like, it came in near the end of the second act, but, you know, I liked how it kind of built, and you know, it built something up from there in terms of his character. So I thought that was really cool. Kind of expected to see the other bullies as well, because I find that they just kind of concentrate on Henry all of a sudden as soon as that little moment takes place. But still, you know, the bullies were there. You know, they are basic, you know, but in no way did it didn't take me out of the film, though, you know, shockingly enough.
Right.
I thought that the writing...
The one thing that bothered me was they had a like a stone fight.
Yeah, good thing you mentioned about the stone fight, but continue.
Yeah, and I was like, well, the stone fight just kind of come out of nowhere, and then the stones was like, did they look like really bad CG to you?
Okay, I was more studying that. Alright, these are very large stones that they throwing at people. That's like, well, yeah, they tend to like real mean people here, though. But I wasn't looking at the CG there.
Yeah, to me, I know the CG was kind of bad. I was like, wait, the stone almost went hit somebody, so they had to CG it in, but it looked really bad. Whatever.
Right, but
I just my thing.
Cool, but that just brings up one thing that took me out of the film, though. There are a couple of self-aware moments in the film. You know, one scene in particular involves this New Kids on the Block poster, and the other scene is that you know, that rock fight. And, you know, it's almost like the director's kind of stopping, you know, well, in that rock scene, the slight spoiler, there's a slow-mo shot there. You can tell it's like, well, you know, we just kind of, you know, we just, not so much hyping up the scene, we just kind of, stretch the scene out a little bit there, you know, heightening it a little bit more there. So it's a funny moment, but we're gonna make it even more funny and wink at the camera by having this slow-mo shot and having this rock song played throughout it there, you know. So to me, this kind of took my out of the film. It's almost like the director saying, okay, well, yes, there was this rock fight that was in the original film and I guess in the book, so let me just kind of hype it up and, you know, heighten it to make it look like, yeah, this is our take on, you know, our 80s, you know, rock scene or whatever you want to call it there, you know, that kind of thing. That it felt like, you know, the film just kind of came out of itself and just kind of was like, you know, being self-aware there. And then with the poster with the New Kids on the Block stuff, you had to stop and, you know, have the song play in the background and then stop at just the right time, you know, to deliver the joke. You know, it was a little self-aware to me there. One thing though that I was surprised though was the level of humor that was in the film. I really liked that. It really, you know, because there are kids there, you need those moments to, you know, to cool down.
I think Finn Wolfhard was in.
Who was in? It was in Stranger Things. Yeah, he was the comic relief here. He was vulgar, you know, but not too vulgar. But you understand because, you know, it's kids. You know, they're not being supervised by parents 24/7. So yeah, you have to have that one character who wants to try to curse like a sailor, you know, but he just kind of comes off being like this buffoon, you know. I love that character as well. I love how they portray that. There are a few moments where the comedy kind of hits during scenes of, you know, tension and terror, especially in the third act. And because, you know, the characters, you're laughing along with them because, yeah, they do have this kind of theme park ride vibe in terms of how the scares are delivered, especially the third act. But still, it's like, all right, I'm supposed to be scared here, but you have a laugh. Come on, make up your mind, please. Come on,
Right.
And also too, I thought the music was well done. There were a few cues that I was hearing from like The Shining. If you listen closely, you might hear it, especially with Pennywise's scenes. But I thought that the music was great. It wasn't like this complete scare fest music that they played. They had some, warm, gentle moments as well, and some 80s hits and stuff. And I really love the 80s aesthetic of the show itself. I thought it was well done. Like, case in point, the the marquee for the cinema, so you had Lethal Weapon 2 and Batman. I thought that was great.
Right.
But I was worried though.
Nightmare on Elm Street was there as well.
Yeah, so Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I think it was. I think that's the one before Freddy's Dead, But I was worried though, and I'm not sure if this is gonna affect future viewings of this movie for me though. I was worried though that it was going to play on the whole 80s nostalgia vibe, that a lot of movies, a lot of shows have been accused of, especially like Stranger Things, for example. And just the way how the story is played out is almost like, we are watching an 80s film again. Like we're watching the Goonies, but just with a mixture of like Freddy Krueger in it. It has that kind of feel to it. And I was worried, watching it, like, okay, I really enjoy this, but still, in retrospect, is this like cashing in on the whole 80s nostalgia craze thing? Because I understand the setting of it. I understand it in terms of setting up the sequel, but once again though, because of Stranger Things, especially that and how big that is there, you kind of wondered, is that playing towards that sort of demographic there, if you know what I mean? Yeah. But with all that being said though, I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't go with high expectations, but I knew I was going to enjoy it because of what I had to live up to, and I thought that it did so well. It's not a perfect movie by a long shot, but it is very, very entertaining. And I would say this one minor gripe though, I didn't jump or I didn't get as scared as I wanted to. Like, I'm not saying I'm supposed to go back to when I was young and I saw, that one clip from the first It movie, and I expected to be, deeply disturbed like that. I wanted to have fun with the film, especially when you have kids be the protagonists. And I did have fun with it, but yes, there were jump scares, and, even when the jump scares, happened, I didn't really feel like, I was jumping out of my skin there. I didn't really feel like that. I don't know if that happened to you, but to me, like, it was scary because it's scary, but it was like deeply, deeply disturbing. Like, I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm just gonna be thinking about that one scene. There was no moment, unfortunately, or there was few moments that kind of was going there, but to me, but in no way is this a bad thing though. It feels like this theme park ride there, in my opinion. But I would have wished for a little bit more scares, something a little bit more visceral, make me like cringe in my seat there. There was just a few moments which did that for me, but unfortunately, it didn't do that for a majority of the film. So that's like my one minor gripe though. But apart from all that, I would say that this is probably the best horror I've seen, or I should say the most entertaining horror I've seen all year. I'm still looking forward to Mama. Mama. It's actually directed by the guy who directed Mama, by the way. But I'm looking forward to Mother. And some people already say that Mother is not so much a horror, or a thriller. It's like an allegory, something. I don't know. When I see it, I'll tell you guys.
I try to avoid as much as I can about it, because I want to be surprised by what
me too. I want to avoid any spoilers or articles about it. I don't want to know. But all I know right now is just that, well, it's not what you expect. There's a lot of metaphors in there. You need to watch this thing carefully. Every shot matters and all that kind of stuff. That's all I know. But anyway, for it here, I would say that this is hands down the most entertaining horror I've seen this year. Will this make my top 10? I don't know about top 10. I can't really say for sure, but gotcha. I really enjoyed this film. I love the decision of splitting the story into two movies, so yeah, I can't wait to see the sequel. But still, yeah, you're gonna have fun with this one, Jed. So rating wise, I will give this a decent 4 to 5 stars, man. This is definitely one to see in theaters. when I saw it, it was a packed audience, so everybody was just laughing and having fun and cheering and jumping and stuff like that. So I would recommend seeing this with a lot of people. See this with your friends. You're gonna have a blast with this one.
Yeah. No, for me it's the opposite.
What? Okay.
Not as high as I again, because it was good and decent and well made, but again, because I just not into horror, and my thing is that you kind of have to reject a lot of logic. I didn't hate this movie. It's well made. I still give it a movie tongue.
All right, fair enough.
Just a movie tongue.
Yeah. Any last words on why you didn't enjoy it as much as I did? Just run through.
Again, because it's the classic horror reasons. You need to rely on dream logic. You need to explain things, but you don't need to explain anything, and you can just accept this, that, and the other, and then they may explain it later, but you just have to accept it as well as kids doing kids things. I'm like, no, these kids are kind of dumbasses. They need to address these things a little better.
Yeah, it's a good thing you mentioned that too. Sorry to cut you there. So it's a good thing you mentioned that too. Because yes, I like the fact that the kids are aware that they have to do what they have to do to stop this demon, but they do some dumb shit. I like, why are they doing this? Like, literally 5 minutes after they say we should stick together, they split up.
Yeah.
And you're like, why, Adrian? Why? But you could argue, just the same thing like I said with animal creation, it's a horror film. You have to play on certain tropes,
Yeah, as I say, you have to justify your tropes, and they really do a good job of trying to justify the tropes.
I would agree with you on that one. I don't know how they're gonna play it in the sequel. I kind of have a feeling they'll just follow the same rinse and repeat formula that this one here did. But it'll be interesting to see how they play it out, because they are adults now, so they can't be doing the same stuff from 27 years ago. Even though they could argue and say, well, they don't remember stuff from what happened before. Slight spoiler, but you do see it in the old film. They don't remember much of what happened back then, but it's only when they become closer to it, that's when it comes back now. You know what I mean? So I don't know how they're gonna play it off. I just hope we don't get no idiotic adults doing idiotic stuff because of horror film, but we'll see. Alright, so with all that being said, Ricardo, where can we find you online, man?
Yeah, you could just get me at RMedy, ampersand RMDY on Twitter, and then type in my name, Ricardo Medina, on Facebook, and you should find me there.
Alright, you can also find me on Twitter as well. Look for Legally Black MJB in capital letters. You can also look for my name, Matthew Bailey, on Facebook. Also look for a Legally Black official fan base, where you find the link to this podcast here, as well as the others that we've recorded before, and of course my written reviews. Yes, so before we part ways, stuff to look forward to. Well, at the time of this recording here,
the Emmys.
Yes, there's the Emmys for one thing. I need to check that out. I know there's tons of shows that are nominated that I haven't seen, but
movie I expecting was I expecting thing to sweep Handmaid's Tale. That was pretty big.
That was a pretty big deal there. Also, as I was about to say, Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Yes, I'm excited for that. I really enjoyed the first film, even with its over the topness, which I actually love though. So I can't wait to see what we get here.
I really hope it's not a kick-ass too tight.
Yeah, I hope so. Where it tries to do the whole subversiveness, and it just goes too far, and we forget about it, like I did with Kick-Ass 2. So, the Lego the Jakku movie. The Jakku, I don't know. I haven't seen any trailers, any TV spots for it. I haven't seen any reviews for it. But if it's good, well, maybe I'll give it a look. I can't really say for sure. But I really did enjoy the Lego Batman movie. I'm not expecting this film to be as great or, maybe self-referential as that one. But, it's Lego, so we'll see.
Right.
And, of course, finally, in terms of movies, of course, Blade Runner 2049. Coming out next couple of weeks, I believe. Well, early October, we're supposed to be getting that. And I don't know about you, Ricardo, but I really would love if we could talk about the old film, watch over the old film and just review it and see how it holds up, and those kind of things. Because we haven't done a retrospective review of a movie in a long while.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're game for that, but I say why not watch over the old Blade Runner. Well, around the time when 2049 comes, so we can check that out.
Right.
Alright, so that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, yes, it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Bears, Beats, and Bailey. So until the next one, take care, guys. Peace.